All right. So the recording have started. All your faces are going live and will be shown in repeated tutorials. So you're aware. All right. So let me share my screen so that we'll just get onto it. This class was supposed to be 1 hour, but I said let me just stretch it to 2. So let me share a window. Let me open Figma so that I have it as part. Why am I not seeing my Figma as part of the options here? Okay. Immediately I come here, it just disappears. Okay. So share system audio. Okay, say record your system audio allow. All right. And all right. I'll just share my document. Anyways, like you guys can see my screen, right? Yeah. All right. Let me dive in. So we're going to go through some of the stuff I've done. So a lot of people they have been asking for like the file. Perez, by any chance, if anything happens to the live, like I'm not aware, maybe how will I put it? Something happened. Just buzz me up on WhatsApp. Just give me a WhatsApp call. Yeah.
Okay, sure, I will.
Yeah. Thank you very much because I may not be coming to Chrome again. All right. So I'm just going to be going through them. So we're going to start from like we're going to cover like the basic functionalities. So guys, as you can see, you see how scattered this stuff is, right? This is the complete work. I don't know if anybody has like experienced it, but once your work like is complete, if you have done like serious motion inside, this is going to be. But by the time you want to play it, everything is going to arrange. So some people are asking me for like, oh, can you share us your file? Can you share us your file? I cannot, but even though I do, honestly, you will be so confused. I can't even lie. So this was the Twitter launch video that I did. This was the second one that Twitter did that I did. So this is what the first part looks like. So to achieve like the complete sequence, I had to use 4 independent. You can see them. This like, let me call this one part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So because of how Figma was lagging while I was creating, you can see. Can you see how this one has flew to the bottom? Initially, it was not there. If I play it again now, you are going to see that everything is going to go back to normal and it's going to appear at the middle. Here, you are going to see it is at the middle. But by any chance, I want to scroll it or something like that, it might just like glitch. You can see it has glitched here again. So these are based on the fact that, okay, like the app is still in beta, like it's still under construction. There are a lot of things that are lagging. So I found my way around it and I started breaking the animations into scene. So this is more like introduction to some difficulties that we may not like talk about by the time we go on. So this is more like the part 2, because once that one transitions, it transitions to this is the next scene that it transitions to. And you could like see the whole keyframes that are here. You understand that like keyframes. So this is more like the part 2. So the part 2 started here and it ended here because at this point it was already glitching. Look at it. It was already glitching. You just saw that something happened just now. It's glitching. So because of that glitching like issue, I had to like start breaking the scenes so that I would just look for a part where the animation wants to transition, right? I just look for a part where the animation wants to transition into the next. then I will just end it there, open a new frame, and start from that new frame. You understand? So at the end of everything, I placed all of them inside a single frame. Where is that single frame? Is this it? Like, yeah, this is it. So if you can see here, like this is the first component, because if you put all the components which is at the very top will be the most visible. So I put in the first thing, then I brought in the next component, and I added an opacity keyframe on top of all of them because I added an opacity keyframe. Oops. But you guys can hear me, right? Now I'm back to Chrome. All right. Okay. So I added an opacity keyframe on all of them so that by the time this one is more like it's getting done, like the next thing is about to come in, the next thing will come in smooth so that nobody will know. So if you know, like when you're editing videos, one scene comes after the other. So this is what the complete scene would look like. Let me zoom in like closely so that you see. So this class was not really planned. Like I've been really exhausted during the week, so I don't really prepare anything like pattern like that. So we're going to be seeing a lot of messy things. So this is basically how something is even wrong, except with the alignment of this stuff. This is not how the original one is. Let me check inside. Let me see. Let me see. Let me just put them inside. Let me put all of them inside a normal frame so that you guys can see what I mean. I'm just going to copy all of them and put them inside here. Yeah. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for the first one. So the first one, I'm going to add like an opacity. You see that stuff that just happened? Like, how does this thing even go to minus? Like I said, the app is still in beta, so a lot of things are going to be happening. So I'm going to add an opacity keyframe here. We're going to actually go back to the beginning, but I just want to show you guys something when you are creating, because I'm not sure I'm going to touch this part. So on this particular side, I'm going to add an opacity of 100. Then at the beginning, I'm going to add an opacity of 0. So I'm going to copy this opacity. I'm going to copy this opacity property now, and I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to paste it on all of them. Okay, so everybody now is going to be invisible. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to locate them by their scene. Let me just label them here so that it will be easy for me. Whenever you are trying to animate, please name your layers. Name your layers, because by the time you're already doing complex stuff, if you don't understand what's happening, the frustration will be terrible. Very, very terrible. You must learn to name your layers. So this is more like part 4. For just how many seconds animation, you're already using like 4 screens. Anyways, so this is more like this part 4. I'm going to take part 4 back to the beginning, and I'm going to drag part 4. I'm going to drag part 4 behind. So this part 2, I'm going to drag part 2. I'm just going to be dragging them backwards. I'm just going to drag them backwards. So this part 1, there's no need giving it like an opacity keyframe. So I'm just going to take it out. So I'm going to allow part 1 to play. Right? Part 1 is going to play. It's going to play. It's going to play. Let me just be dragging part 2 backwards until bam. So at this particular part now, this is where part 2 is about to come in. So part 2 has to like fade in. So this is the point where, as it's completely going out and everywhere is about to turn white, part 2 will now come in. Like, can you guys see it? So by adding opacity keyframe, you are about to like, add your whole compositions to like form a complete sense. So as part 2 comes in at once, it's going to play, and we're going to drag it until it finally goes out. Then part 3 enters. Can you see it? So immediately part two goes out, you already see that the black stuff came in. And as it was leaving, let me drag this one back so that it can be smoother. And as it was leaving, the part three scene came in once, and it's just playing as if it's just one complete frame, but they are all just like a combination of like frames. This stuff is something that I may not touch, so that's why I'm just doing that now. So from part two, it enters like the part three at once. You see how smooth it is. Like no one would notice because I figured out the part where my video is supposed to transition, and I just add it. So at this point, this one fades out because that is what it's supposed to do originally. So immediately I already added the part four to it so that it will just come in once and the whole animation is complete. Okay, so it go back again to play again from part one. So let me come back to Chrome. Wait, where are you guys? Let me see. Why am I here? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, so, Chris, yes,
Ah,
we can hear
my heart be don't
you.
fly. Una see what I see just now, man. Because I was confused because I was just confused. Maybe like the thing is, but wait, so can you guys hear me though?
Yes, Chris, we can hear you.
Oh, all right. All right. Somebody's raising a hand. Somebody has a question. Oh. You have a question? Ask, please. Because we may not come back here. Somebody raised up. Stella, is that the name? You raised up your hand. The person can unmute, right? Wait, you can hear, but you can't see the presentation. Like you guys can't see the presentation.
We can see it.
She says, oh,
Probably it probably is just on our end. She'll probably have to um go out and rejoin.
okay, or is she just joining in now that I just came in to like talk with you guys? Stella, are you just joining in? Let me see. I mean, it's not Stella, it's Sally. Oh, my apologies. Okay, was she the one that his son said I can hear, but I can't see the presentation? Someone else is saying they can. Let me be clear. Let me just go again. Can you see it now? Like, can you see my screen now? Like, can you see the Figma file now? Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it now. I had to leave to rejoin. Okay, that's great. So, like, did you guys like get like what I just shared right now? Like, did you guys get the point? Like, did you guys understand what I just showed you guys? All right. All right. That's great. Just keep that in mind because for you to create something complex within 20 to 30 seconds, even 10 seconds, trust me, you would need to break them down. So start calculating in your head, why am I transitioning so that I just end the animation there. There's no need to put it forward. Just take the next ones to the next side and just start from there. So let me see how many people we have here now so that we can just go back to the basics. Okay, we have 37 people now. All right. So this is that, and it's the same thing I did for it was the same thing I did for this project that I'm working on with some of my guys. So this is like the storyboard. This is the storyboard that I arranged, and to get this done, right? You see, this is like part two, right? I actually started it from the first storyboard. I had to duplicate the storyboard because I wanted to animate them initially. So this is more like the part one, and this is the part two, and This is the fourth part, and this is the third part. So how many parts did I create now? Okay, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we even did 5. Yes, we did 5. This is the fifth part. I took out the background, the fifth part. So for this particular one, I did 5 parts. 5 parts to show you that. And this is just a 49 seconds or 48 seconds video, just 48 seconds. It's not even up to a minute. 5 parts just because the stuff glitches. And I know it's something that they are working on. And yeah, and you see how messy it looks when you are not on like the Figma motion. And the combination of those 5 parts, it's what's inside here. So when I play this, yeah, you can see my timeline. We have the first one here, like that, like that, like that. And this one is showing part 4 because I did not name it now. As at the time I named the part 1, when I duplicated it, Figma just automatically gave it the name part 5, and you understand. So the other ones were not really having that name. So if I play this one that contains all of them, you are going to see how smooth they are going to like move from one particular scene to the next scene. So it's just going to be playing like that, like that. And you're just going to watch at the point where it's going to transition. You see, it already transitioned into the next one. And that is how they are going to be transitioning to the next and to the next until it gets to like the final, until it gets to the final one. So don't mind it that it's like moving slow like this, so because it's still on the file. When you export it, it does not really move slow like this. So sometimes you just have to export to actually see how, because some parts are really heavy. So okay, it's 5:21 now. So I just showed you guys like the 2 most complex animations that I have worked on Figma Motion, and both of them are basically like having like 5 parts. Okay, the last but not the least is this one. This one was just an experiment, but it became popular one kind. Don't know. Instagram people were liking it. So this particular one was like just basically like an experiment. And yeah, I think the most stressful part for me for this one was trying to do that liquid stuff. I had to like manually do it. Oops. I think I'm trying to like show the keyframes. Okay, it's already done from here to here. All right, let me come back just to be clear that everybody's all right. All right, now you guys okay, you say a little missed out on the opacity area. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. You are going to figure it out. That opacity area is not really a big deal. If you just understand how opacity works and the timeline, then everything is going to be fine. So what we just, you say I'm lost too. Are you just coming in? Are you just coming in? If you are coming in, sure, you will be lost. But this part is not like part of the, yeah, I said a few minutes ago. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Like, it's okay to be lost because you still figure it out at the end of the day. Trust me, you still figure it out. Don't worry. This was what I was supposed to do by 4:30, but I was too tired. This is more like red carpet where I just take people through the stuff that I've done before. Just to show you guys like what it looks like, because a lot of people have been asking for the file. Looking at this file, trust me, you'll be confused though. You'll be confused. If you did not build it from the ground up, you would be confused. You would be confused like mad. I can't even lie to you. Me that is even creating it, I am confused. It's just that I was the one that made it. That's why I'm not so confused. Me that is doing it, me, I was confused. Because a lot of things are just happening at the same time. It's just like when you are coding and you are writing like one line of code every day. The day you finally, like, you have written 20,000 lines of code, your eye will turn you. That's exactly what this stuff is. So you just have to take it like step by step for you to like just get the idea. So, all right. All right. Okay, this stuff, I was experimenting on it. It's never made its way online yet, but it's something that I was going to like work on regardless. I'm going to work on it. The idea was no idea and yet it was not really like, it was not hitting the point where I actually liked. So we're going to come back to all these ones. This was the one that I did for the website. For the website work that I collaborated with Atom on, the A-Clicky project. So this is it's like I was just like doing like two stuff. So let me just look for a part on this file where we can just chill, so that we can just start on a new slate. All right, let's assume that we have not been here before. Let me just go back to the file for the last time. All right, can you guys hear me? Let me just be clear on that for one more time. I want to be seeing many thumbs up, or I want to be seeing many thumbs up, or like 39 here. Let me be seeing plenty thumbs up, so that I will know that I am not like lagging.
Yeah,
All right.
can I quickly say something? Your screen is just showing where it is saying you are presenting. We cannot see your Figma file. I don't know if you are.
Okay, you said what?
Your screen is just showing where you are saying you are presenting. So I don't know if you're on your Figma file.
Okay, no, I'm not on the Figma file right now, but once I enter a Figma file, yes, TG, I'm recording. I'm not on the Figma file right now, but if I enter the Figma file, you will see it. Are you just coming in?
No, I've been here like 15.
But have you been seeing the Figma file at all?
Yes, I was.
But now you cannot see it.
Yes.
Yeah, you cannot see it now because I just came into like the Chrome file. They say like if I show my screen, it's going to go infinity, like, so I don't want that infinity stuff that I should be showing. But yeah, I am recording. Yeah, I'm recording. All right, so let me take you guys like from the beginning. I'm going to use like a desktop screen. So this is where the class has officially started. So MacBook Pro 14. Okay, MacBook Air. Yeah, this is one I'm using. So for you to be interested in Figma Motion, it means you're already used to Figma itself, right? You're already used to Figma itself. So you already know how the interface works. If you don't know how the interface works, just you will revisit this video, then you go and check like the Figma introduction. So this tab here on the bottom is where you are going to see motion, and they clearly state that it's in beta, so that in case you are getting frustrated, you should give them more grace. They are still trying to put things in place. So coming into the motion interface right now, you are going to see this big box here. That's the first thing you are going to notice, because you might not really notice any change here yet, but you are just going to notice this big panel here. And this is what they call the timeline. This is what they call the timeline. And these numbers here shows you how much of the timeline this indicator is at the moment. You understand? And at this point here, you can decide if you want it to be rated in seconds. So this is from 0 to 1 second, or you want it to be shown in milliseconds. So you are going to tap it again. It's going to go to milliseconds. And me, I use milliseconds most of the time, because if you have been prototyping in Figma, you know that we have been using milliseconds for a long time. So I just prefer using milliseconds. And it also helped me to like just give like tiny line, time frame to some things that I don't want to waste time. And on this particular part is, if when you are playing an animation and you want it to repeat, you are going to tap this stuff. It will cancel it and it's going to play only once. It's not going to repeat. But if you press it again, it's going to, this particular one now that is like arrows are facing each other, it means that this timeline will be going front and going back, not going front and starting from the beginning again. But if you tap here, meaning it's going to go from the front and it's going to go and start from the beginning again, not going forward and going back. You're just going to get the idea now. So at this particular panel, right, when Figma motion dropped initially, when I came to this panel, wherever I saw a keyframe, I rejoice. Why am I rejoicing? Because whenever you see a keyframe, it means you can manipulate that value on any object or any property. So I saw position keyframe, which is normal, it's cool. I was happy. Scale keyframe, rotation, all these ones are like normal keyframes that's supposed to be there. Then height and width keyframe, ooh, I was happy. Then opacity keyframe, really cool. When I started seeing like corner radius keyframe, I was like getting really, really excited, meaning I can adjust corner radius and animate corner radius. Very, very nice. Then I saw the color. This is more like the color keyframe. Does it change color? I tried it once, not really sure. Then stroke also has keyframe too. You are going to see that effects also have keyframe. All these ones are layout guide, then export. So at this panel, you are going to see, by the time we start handling objects right now, you are going to notice like the different properties that are going to be popping up. But this is more like the properties panel as we all know, and this is the layers panel as we all know. Then at this particular point is the agent. This one is when you want AI to do your motion for you. Trust me, AI at this point can just help you do like some basic things. Like if you want to do real work, it will still require a lot of manual handling. And some of those easy things that AI help you do, if it's not something that is more like repetitive, it's something that you can just quickly do by yourself. Financially, I would advise you to just do it by yourself than wasting AI credits on things that you could just handle easily. You could spend that on doing really, really difficult things instead. So on this particular side, I guess we already know because already like on the new update and stuff. So this is more like the assets and tools and stuff like that. So this is not like a beginner Figma class. This is just me like taking you through how I do my stuff. So for the first part, we're going to be talking about position. We're going to be talking about position. So here I am. Let me give it, what's my shade of purple again? I don't know. Let me just give it a purple color. I'm going to add so motion is one thing, right? This is not like part of the whole thing, but motion is one thing. Knowing how to illustrate, manipulate, and do all those fancy stuff, it's another thing. So it's one thing for you to like know how to do. That's why one thing I know is that motion is where almost every aspect of design meets. Like if you're an illustrator, motion is going to make your work so beautiful. If you are a UI designer, motion is going to take you to another level. Web designer, motion will take you to another level. Name it, any designer, graphic designer, motion is going to take you to another level because that's the point where everything just changes. So this ball, we're going to look at this ball and we're going to watch something happen. So let's start with like position, right? Position on the timeline. Number one, this is where this ball is at this point now. So motion design is basically the movement of an object from one point to another, like from point A to point B, how they are going to be, or the transitioning of an object from one particular state to another. That's the way I'm going to like define it. So this is like the first position. And this position here, I'm going to, as you guys can see, I placed a keyframe here. Okay, I placed a keyframe here, and I'm going to go on the timeline. I'm going to spread my timeline wide, and I'm going to say at, let me do 1 millisecond. I say 1 millisecond, 1 second. At 1 second, I want the ball to travel here. Can you see that immediately I moved this ball, another keyframe automatically appeared here, right? Can you see that? Immediately I moved this ball, another keyframe automatically appeared here. So if I play this now, this is what we are going to see. Can you see that? This is what you are going to see. A lot of people have already passed this stage in Figma, but it's still important because there's something I want to show you guys when it comes to easing. So this is like position right now. And another thing that you know is the fact that you can, let me show you something, right? Right now, this object is here. If I want to move this object without touching the keyframes itself, like without interfering with the position, or how am I going to put it, without like displacing only one, I'm going to tap here. and I'm going to hold one of the keyframe. Notice I'm going to tap this top first, and I'm going to hold one of the keyframe, and I'm going to drag it. You understand? Because sometimes while you are like creating the composition, you just want to move something away from the place you initially planned it to be. So this is one way to like go about it, and you can actually do that back. It's different from when you tap it yourself and you tap the object itself and you just tap only one. If you tap only one, you'll be able to move just that one. So if I play it now, you are going to see how it's going to move. And you can see that it's just moving at one particular position. And there's something that maybe somebody was expecting me to like, let me delete this. Maybe somebody was expecting me to like, take you guys through like the animation, the preview animation panel. Let me delete this. It just came in just now. The preview animation panel. My apologies, but you can actually learn that like on Figma page, because I don't really use this, because these ones are like previews. Whatever I'm using is something I can control, right? But in the beginner class that I'll be putting together, I'm going to like include that. But this is just me. I'm just trying to show you guys like how I do my things. So, but this particular lesson is on YouTube. So if you want to go and learn that, you can learn that. This particular one I'm teaching you guys now is the custom way of animating, like the way you can animate and control it by yourself. So we're going back to like position. So I'm going to put one position here. And on the timeline, I'm going to go to 1 second and I'm going to drag it. There's something I want you guys to see. And on this particular place here, it's the easing. Initially, I want you guys to see something. Can you guys see all these tiny, tiny dots here? Let me go to the Chrome. Can you guys see those tiny dots there? Yeah, I want you guys to focus on those tiny dots. Yeah, I want to show you guys something about those tiny dots. These tiny dots now, it tells you that this object has a consistent movement from point A to point B. Can you see how consistent the movement is? Good. Now, I want you to take note of these tiny dots by the time I hold, because at this point now, this is custom Bezier, right? This is custom Bezier. This is what I basically use because I like controlling the pace of every animation that I'm working on. So this is custom Bezier. If I hold this particular part in custom Bezier and I raise it up, can you guys see those things moving? Right? If you can see it moving, somebody just unmute and just say yes, because I don't want to be coming back there.
Yes.
Good. Can you see those things moving? Good. So if I drag it down, can you see them retreating back? Now, what does this mean? It means that this ball is going to speed up here and it's going to slowly come down at this particular point here. Like, you see this place is speed that is going to happen here. So let's just see if I'm right or wrong. Can you see? Can you see how fast it's moved there? Can you see how fast it's moved there? Then at the ending, it slowed down.
Yes.
So while you are animating, right? This is how you tend to like get an idea. It will not always show because this is more like the position keyframe. That's why you are seeing it. It does not show in opacity. No opacity, I don't really care about stuff. It does not show in scale, and it does not show in scale, and it does not show in rotation. It's only like positioning. So there's something I'm going to do again. I'm going to increase it here. Can you guys see how concentrated they are here? What's going to happen is that this ball is going to move with speed here and it's going to slow down here. So it's basically like easing out, like it's going to ease itself out. It's going to end like really slow, and we're going to see that now. Now let me duplicate this ball. Let me Control D, and it's duplicated. Let me change the position of this right here. So I'm going to change the trajectory of one, and I'm going to release it a bit here, and you're going to see how they are going to move. Can you guys see it? One is moving at a consistent pace, while the other one, if you can see, the ribbon is going to start fast and it's going to move a bit consistent, because if you see the spacing here, they are a bit loose compared to the spacing of this one. So what am I trying to say is the fact that if you want your animation to start fast and end slow, you will have to, at this particular place where it curves, right? Where this custom Bezier curves, it's going to move fast at this point. while it's going to end slow at this point, right? It's going to move fast. It's going to move fast at this point, and it's going to end slow at this point. But what if I want it to start slow and end slow? What am I going to do? I'm going to introduce another curve here. I'm going to introduce another curve here. And you're going to see what's going to happen to this ball right now. Just watch. Can you see that? Can you see that? This is the effect that I used for, like, most times, like when a big object, maybe like a phone, wants to like zoom in or zoom out. So I use this, like it starts slow and it just like comes out a bit fast, then it ends slow. You're going to see that by the time we start doing like some practical stuff. So in this particular part here, if you want your animation to start slow, you have to add a curve. The more slow you want, the more curve you add, because sometimes, honestly, believe me, I have used this particular style before. I have used this particular style because the idea I had was for it to like start like really, really slow, and like it starts like really, really slow and end like fast, but not so fast like the middle part. So you are going to be experimenting a lot, and let me show you what I mean by this. And you can actually like copy properties though. So let me copy this property, and I'm going to hide this. What's the time now? 5:41. Let me copy these properties, and I'm going to hide this. Let's just assume that this is like a mobile device, kind of. Let me give it what color now? Okay, well, this baby blue is okay. So let me just give you this color, and let us say it's like moves like from here. Okay, the way I'm going to see it now, we're about to enter scaling. So we've already done like position, right? We've already done position, and I'm going to still come back to position because we have not done like position on a path. Okay, we have not done position on the path. Or let me just touch that so that I can introduce more of that like later. So let me assume that this ball, right? Because if you notice some of my works, you'll be seeing some, how will I put it? You'll be seeing some vectors that are just like moving around, kind of. Those are just like complementary stuff like on the motion side. So I'm just going to show you guys like, so these like objects on a path, right? I just want to show you this part so that you can have like a visual understanding of what I want to do. Let me just increase the opacity, right? So let me also like give it this color. Yes, let me give you this color. Let me say I want this ball now, right? I'm going to, let me enter Figma motion. I'm going to take out the position keyframe. I'm going to take it to the front. You guys can hear me, right? Please indicate by voice.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Is the class clear?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Please, if you have questions, just like questions you had before now, just drop it on the message log when I come, or maybe something that you are not really clear of that it's personal to you. It might also help other people. Just like keep it there, and I'm going to like visit it. So for instance, I heard the sound. Not quite get clear what that is. Somebody raise up his hand. What's up? What's up? Somebody raised up his hand. Can you guys hear me? Okay, same mistake. All right.
Yes, we
That's
can.
fine. All right, thank you. No problem. All right, so for instance, I want this ball now to move on this, because now we have started with position, which is the first indicator here. So for instance, if I want, sorry for that noise. For instance, if I want this ball to move on this part, this is exactly what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to watch my arrow, please. I'm going to add a position keyframe. Oh, sorry, this stuff is not. I'm going to add a position keyframe. I'm going to lock it in here because this is a starting point. I'm going to drag this guy here. I'm going to drag. Why is it not showing? Let me see. Okay, sorry. For me to drag it and it's going to show, I need to take it to a point because at what point is it going to move? So let me say at 0.600 millisecond. So at 600 millisecond, I want it to appear here. I don't know if the curve is going to work properly, but let me not push my luck. Let me just put it here. So what am I going to do? You know the way you usually bend your normal vector lines, right? You are going to hold Control or Command. Control for PC, Command for Mac. So you are going to hold it and drag it. Can you see this ankle bar here? Yes, you are going to hold and drag it. If it was After Effects now, like there's a way, like they just like select the object, select the part, and just do some kind of magic and they link up. But this Figma motion, so you say you want to learn Figma motion, yeah, it is. So this is how like it's going to be on the parts, right? So, and I'm going to go, let me just shift this one here. I'm going to go further and I'm going to drag it here and I'm going to angle it again. Right.
Sorry, hi. Hello. Please, can you do that again?
What's that?
Like the action you performed before
The
when you're talking about
bending of
like motion on the part.
the bending of the stuff or the whole motion of the on the part stuff. Sorry. Can you be clear
It's
on?
the motion on the part.
Yes.
Yeah, I said can you repeat what you said about it?
Yeah, like what particular parts am I repeating?
Okay, I think the part when you said you have to hold something down and all of that.
Okay. So what I'm trying, you're going to still see it along though. So you will hold, for instance, right? I already brought it here. For me to curve the line, just like the way, the way, like, let me show you something. For instance, now, like this is like a normal part that we usually know. For us to bend this part, we have to hold Command and bend it. Okay? It's the same thing with motion on a part. Okay, so if we enter like Figma motion now and we tap this ball here, that is exactly what we are doing. We are holding Command, and for us to do individual ankle bar, we have to hold Option. We have to hold the Option key on Mac. If Option key on Mac, is this the option on Windows? But you just have to hold the Option key, or on Windows, what is it? Is this the option?
Alt.
Oh, hey,
Alt,
Alt. Thank
alt.
you very much. I mean, I was a very strong window user. It's not like, so that people don't think that I am discriminating Windows. So I have gaming PC. I just forgot. So yeah, you just hold the Alt and you can handle only one. You guys can see it, right? You just hold Alt and you can handle only one. But without Alt, if you are just holding, if you are just holding only the stuff, you will just be affecting like more than one side. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next side and I'm going to take it here. Because why am I taking it this far now? Because at this point, it's more like a straight, it's something that if you understand how parts work, you know that you can be able to like bend it properly here. So I'm going to hold Command again and I'm going to drag. And I'm going to go to the next side and I'm going to drag. At this point, I will have to hold Alt or Option so that I can handle just one part of it. Okay, and I'm going to do same for this particular part here because the first one is already scattering it. Then finally, I'm going to drag it to, oops, sorry. I'll have to take it further on the timeline to do that. Finally, I'm going to drag it to the ending. Since the ending is too short, there's no need giving it the same timeline as the rest. There's no giving it the same timeline as the rest. So I'm going to hold command and oops. I'm going to hold command. So if I want to touch like a particular keyframe, sometimes what I do is I just drag the timeline here, because it's not every time like Figma motion is going to allow you to see it here. So I'm going to drag the timeline closer, and I'm going to drag the keyframe and like place it on the timeline. So automatically it's going to show that the stuff is on the timeline and you're going to see it here. So I'm going to hold command now, and I'm going to why is it showing like that? And I'm going to like drag. Okay. So I'm going to do the same here. And I'm going to use option to like just handle one part of it. Motion design is not easy. Be careful what you wish for. So I'm going to like just hold it here. So automatically now, they are all on linear. Like as you can see, you can clearly see what our stuff looks like. And if I select all of them, if I select all of them, like you can see that it is linear, right? It's a straight line. So what does this tell us is the fact that this ball is going to move in a consistent motion, and you are going to see it. Can you guys see it? It's going to move like a consistent motion, and it has nothing really to do with this vector, to be honest. It has nothing to do with this vector. This vector, I just place it there so that you guys can be clear on what we are doing. And it's going to move like on this like consistent line. And the funny thing is, right? Okay, no, I can't do that here. Okay, let me see, right? So now if we start altering the pace, for instance, now we want it to like move, like start slow. We want it to start slow and end slow. Okay. So we're just going to do this from the beginning and the end. Let's see how it's going to be. Can you guys see that? Now let me increase this on the timeline so that it's going to end like slower a bit. Can you guys see that? So this is how you are going to like manipulate like shape movement depending on how you want it to be. That was how I was able to do this particular one. I'm going to show you guys. You see this ball that is bouncing, right? This ball that is bouncing right now. Let me try to, where is it? Okay, this is it. Good. Can you guys see it? Indicate by voice, please.
Yes, we
Yes.
can see that.
Okay, good. This was how I was able to achieve this particular ball that was bouncing. It's not really even, it was a ball. Okay, that was what I made it to be. So as you can see, it goes and it falls and it falls and it falls. But this particular motion too was manipulated. And I'm going to show you how it was manipulated so that you're going to see it. So this is like the position keyframe. And as you can see, can you see the stuff I was telling you guys about? Please indicate by voice.
Yes.
Can you see the stuff I was telling you about? Because I wanted the ball to like come in slow. So you are the one that you are the one in power to determine how you want your animation to be perceived, the kind of vibe you want it to have. It's all up to you, and that is not something that you can achieve if you are trying to use a preset animation, stuff like that. That's something that I stopped using like very, very long time ago, like let's say like 2 years ago. It's custom based. I always use like custom based for like those interactive components and stuff. So I want to also show you something from this particular point, from this point to this point. You see the way it slapped the floor, because I spent, you will not believe, but I spent hours on just this particular place. It might seem like exaggeration, but it's not, because I noticed that the ball was not hitting the floor, like the physics was not right. The ball was not hitting the floor the way I wanted it to, because at the ending point, I was saying it should ease in a little bit. So just for the mere fact that I told it to ease in a little bit, it was not giving me that banging impact that I was looking for. Can you see it? It's as if It's as if it was a foam that it just went and it just bounced. Can you see how soft that stuff is? So as you can see here, right? I said like the first custom bezier, like from this keyframe to this keyframe, which is from this point A to this point B, this was how it looked like. Because what was I going for? I was going for like the ball comes in, like based on the fact that it's in the air. You know, like there's a point where a ball gets to in the air and it slows down, and when it's falling, it does not really fall like with full force, like, but it comes slowly, then it goes like with full force, then it bangs on the floor like bam. So that was what I was going. Oops, I've touched it. So that was what I was going for. And if you see it, it comes in, bam, it goes bam, bam. So looking at it now, right? The fact that I wanted it to start in slow was why because if I wanted it to come in fast, I will have to raise it up here. And you are going to see what's going to happen. Look, can you see it? Like, can you see how it came in like really fast and it just like slows down? Are you seeing it? So it will slow down because of this curve here. It will start fast because of this tiny straight line here, and it's going to slow down here, and it's going to end fast here. So if you want your animation to start slow, you'll be playing here. Like even this part, even this small curve like this, it means something, because not all animation you want to really start very slow. Some you just want them to just start a bit slow. Like at the end of the day, right? Motion design, it's expressing your own how will I put it? Your own perspective. You're expressing your perspective to the world, the way you interpret or the way you want to communicate a particular information or a particular scene. That is what like motion design is like. You are trying to communicate your own intent. So that was why I brought it a bit slow here, because I want it to come in slow and it's going to hit the ground. And if I want it to hit the ground like very, very well, right, I am going to stretch it here. I'm going to make here a bit straight. Let's see how it's going to be. Can you see it? The force now is more. It's going to hit it like bam. And if you notice, right, so I was at this point where that break happened. If you notice at this point, I changed the custom bezier because at this point now, okay, it has banged the floor. It's not supposed to go slow again. The fact that it has banged the floor and this letter is going to erupt, it's supposed to leave the ground with speed. So the fact that it's going to leave the ground with speed, that was why I had to like, you see this custom base, I did not raise it up here. I brought it, and as you can see, as I am raising it up, the ball is moving too, because the ball at this particular point, we have to start like really fast, but I have to bring it down because that is the pace I want. But I want it to actually start fast. So it's going to start fast and it's going to slow down at the point C, because the point C is already its limit in the air. So it's supposed to waste a bit, like a little time in the air before it comes down again. So we're going to watch that again. It's going to go down, bam, spends more time, bam, again. So that's why, like you can see, so your custom bezier, it's not compulsory for it to be consistent at every particular point. It depends on that's why they call it custom. It is customized based on your own interpretation and your own perspective on the motion design. So, and as you can see here, just look at this particular point that it starts here. So at the point, it's now coming down again to bang, right? You are seeing that this bang and this particular one, they are different now. They are different, and that was how I did it. And the timing for this particular tool now is different, because the distance from here to here and the distance from here to here is not the same thing. So I cannot be using the same timeline to interpret the time of fall of the ball from this point A to point B and from point C to point D, because point C to point D, they are like basically shorter. So the time it is going to take the ball to fall does not necessarily have to be the same with the time it took it to fall from the beginning. So for that fact, I have to like give it like a shorter space, and it's going to fall, bam, again, bam. And you see this next one now, the fact that from point, is this E now to F? It is long. From this point to this point is long. It's even longer from this point to this point. So I have to like give it a bigger time frame too, so that it can be a bit more realistic. And it's going to fall, bam, bam. And this other part now, as you can see now, it goes and like that. So this was how I did it. If it's falling, is this particular curve Bezier is going to start slow and end very fast. While if it is rising, it's going to start fast and it's going to end slow. So depending on how slow you want it to end, is going to determine how you are going to drag this guy or limit him, or you understand. So everything is left to your interpretation. Everything will reflect your own understanding and perspective of things. So you are going to, so this is how it went, bam, 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 and it went here. So it was not as if it was a ball. And to be honest, right, you see this shape shifting, right? This shape shifting that it's doing, it happened by accident too. Sometimes Figma can add you values that you were not requesting for, especially if you already started those values, because initially the ball was a box, right? I initially started with a box that I completely around the corner. So it was like a circle, but if it was a circle, you cannot tell when it's rotating. So that was how I just changed it to a box, and Figma just changed my values as it was going. So I had to like delete it and just add unique values so that it can fit the style more. So I really love the fact that it was shape shifting, and that was what I now use until it turned to a small ball. And you can see how real it was looking. The fact that it was now like it was a ball that it was not like it was a ball that was actually bouncing and bouncing until it lost momentum and it's now bounced before it now came to this particular point. So at this particular point, it's disappeared. The opacity disappeared so that this next part can enter. So this is more like transitioning from one particular scene to another scene. I know that a lot of people will be curious as to how I did this, right? This particular circle swab, right? Let me get an answer from the audience.
Yes, it's one of the question I asked in the chat actually.
Okay, you asked it down. Okay, all right. Wait, let me just see questions that are there first. Let me see. I am here now. Okay. Let me expand this. Where is the chat? Where is the chat? Okay. Yeah, just search me on YouTube. My YouTube is there. Why am I not seeing it? Or is it because I left and I came back inside? I am the host now.
Could that be a reason?
Hey, hope I've not lost other questions. So, but yeah, just ask your question again by any chance.
Okay, let me read it out. So the question was, I said, how do you animate a line path? That's the line itself from a point to a full trailing path, which is just that.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Don't worry. We're going to get there.
And the second thing I asked was, how do you create wobbling emoji icons? I think in one of the samples you showed some emojis were wobbling, just moving, in a loop up and down in very small motion.
Why I tell you that one?
I think the first, where you have an array of elements, maybe emojis or something.
Okay. The elements are just all those bubbles, they were just like moving.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the same thing now. It's still in this position, like everything is positioned. That's why like the foundation is very, very important, right? Even though like this is more not like a beginner class, but like when the beginner course will be out, like, because this stuff is like extensive, it's going to actually take time. But just stay with me. From here, you're going to like get the idea. Okay, we are going to like get the idea. Don't worry, I'm going to like push. If people are still here, I'm going to like push like extra 30 minutes because I already wasted time, so I need to make up for that. All right, so let's get back right in. So we're going to get here, right? But it's not now, because we're going to do position, we're going to do scale, we're going to do rotation, we're going to do masking. Like masking is the goated spice in motion design that does a lot of math stuff. Like if you know how to mask, man, like masking can do a lot of manipulations like mad. It choke for masking, because even this particular circle stuff, it's still masking basically, because Figma does not really have this stuff where we can just animate any part. The part that you're animating has to be a special, straightforward part. So I'm going to explain that like as we go on. So is the custom base clear now? The person that was asking before, Is it clear now? Because to be honest, right, I cannot really explain it for you to understand it until you practically do it yourself. For you to understand custom Bezier, and I kid you not, I got to understand custom Bezier more when Figma Motion launched. I have been using it, to be honest. I have been using it, but I have not just been really clear on why I was doing what I was doing. I just know that I was doing something right. But right now, I think I can choose how my object should move, start and end, and how I want my scene to be. Like, you understand? So it's something that you understand why you practice. So just practice. But with what I've explained, though, the person that was asking about the custom Bezier, is this something that it's clear now from the perspective of I understand it and I'll practice it?
Sorry, I want to get an because I know a part. There's a particular part in that custom base that you said that one is too slow. Please, can you just do an overview again? That this part, once you move it, is too slow. Once you move this other part, is to like make it fast.
Okay. All right, no problem. So let's come in again, right? Using this ball as a case study. Look at this particular place. Now the ball is coming in slow. If you want something to be very slow, right? You have to curve the parts. If it's starting, this is the starting and this is the ending. For the starting, if you want it to be slow, it needs to come down like a bowl. You understand? It needs to come down like a bowl. You see this part, as this part is curved now, it's going to take, for instance, imagine a car moving along this part. If the car is moving along this part, it's going to come in a consistent motion and it's going to struggle. It's going to put in serious engine work to move in. But once it gets here like this, right, it's going to based on this particular graph, though, let us not talk about road now, because even road, the person is going to struggle and fight against gravity. But based on this particular part now, it's going to slow down here. And at this point, that is going to go straight, it's going to speed up. And you are going to see how this ball is going to come down very slow right now. Just watch. Can you see it? Can you see? Because the timeline is from here to here. So just watch how it comes in very slow just at the beginning of this timeline. So that is how it is. It's going to come in slow. So if you want it to end slow, that is when you are going to curve this part. If you want it to start slow and end slow, it has to be an S. It has to be an S. Can you see that? It will come in slow because of this particular straight line here. It's going to go fast. So is it clear now?
Yes, it's very clear now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just practice. So practice.
Yes, please, just one more question. Those letters, I don't know, did you just make them appear, or I think they are a little bit slanted before they appeared? I'm not sure.
They are not slanted, they are bouncing up. Look now. Bam, they are bouncing up. Bouncing up. Bouncing up.
Please, if you can explain how you made it that way, those letters in particular.
No problem. Let me just quickly do that. All right, as you can see, right, to do that, yeah, you already know one thing. If you are somebody that have been manipulating in Figma, you already know one thing is the fact that, let me just put in a tiny frame here. I know that a lot of people might have this question too, so let me just trash it out because I don't know if we might get in there. So let me just put K. Let me just use a letter K for classic. So let me just put letter K here. And what am I going to do? Normally, like whatever is happening is the fact that the letter is compressed. So let's compress it. You can't just compress it like this. For you to compress it, it means that it's a shape. So what am I going to do? I'm going to flatten it. You see, when it comes to this motion design thing, yeah, you just have to be ready to do anything possible to achieve whatever you have in mind. No matter what it takes, you just have to like find a way to make it happen. That's just it. You are trying to express a particular idea, and your creativity just have to like, you just have to like think it out. So when I first saw it, because I saw something similar on Pinterest, I've gathered like very serious quality Pinterest mood board on motion design. Like anytime I look at it, I just smile. So when I saw it, I was like, how do I achieve this? I was like, let me try to like bend the letter normally, but I know it will not happen. So I just knew that I was going to mask it. So the first things first, now we're not flying now, but no wahala. I put in a height keyframe because I said initially, when we started this class, I said, wherever you see keyframe, just start to rejoice. Just be happy because it means it's more possibilities. That's just it. And whenever I see keyframe, I'm just happy because it means I can manipulate that particular value. So at the beginning, I'm going to shrink it. So I'm going to shrink it to a height of 0. And I'm going to move here because since I want it to come outside with speed, I'm going to go to like 400 milliseconds and I'm going to increase the height. Okay. Let me go back because there's something I did not explain. You see the thing about height here, when you are trying to adjust the height of something, it's going to also affect the position of the thing. So if, for instance, if I want this K now, right, you're going to see what's going to happen. If I want this K to jump up from this particular spot, let me just go ahead with what I've done before. Let me just put in a keyframe here and go here and put a height keyframe of 0. Right? I put a height keyframe of 0. And one thing I did, right? Okay, we have like custom bezier, right? Custom bezier, we have curve and we have spring. I did not talk about like I did not talk about spring. I'll come, just give me a minute. Let me show you that. I did not talk about spring, right? So this is spring. This is spring. Spring is basically, you will just figure it out on your own based on how you want. It's not as tough as custom bezier because spring just tells how much the animation is going to have a spring effect. You are going to see it. So if I open this K now, you are going to see something. Okay, this is okay. Let me swap it up. You can actually swap though. You see what I'm doing? You can actually like swap the keyframe. So I just hold one and drag it, and it automatically went back to linear. That's sad, but let's just put in spring. So normally I use spring between 0.4 to like 0.7, depending on how much. So let me just use like 0.7 here. Let me just use like 0.7. So let me use like 0.7. And you're going to see what's going to happen. Can you see that? Can you see? Just indicate, please. Voice with voice. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, but looking at this animation now, is this how we want it to appear? Was this what we had in mind? Of course not. This was not what we had in mind. So, meaning something is wrong. And what is that something that is wrong is the fact that for this thing to work the way we want, we need to add a position keyframe because the center of this stuff is already appearing here. So let's add a position keyframe. Let's drag it down. Right? We're going to drag it here. And we're going to add another position keyframe. And we're going to take that position keyframe to meet this keyframe here. So let's drag him here. Or no, drag it a bit upwards. Let's see. Okay, my bad. We'll have to drag them. Let them be close to each other. Let them be close to each other. Let's see. Something is wrong here. This keyframe now. Okay. But the position keyframe is what you are supposed to use to do this. Let me just take them all out, and I'm going to like set everything from the beginning so that the rising and the falling is just going to be the same thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a position keyframe. Because these things, you are going to figure it out along the way by the time you have noticed that there's something wrong already. Because we want it to rise up from here. So I'm going to put height, and I'm going to drop the height down. I'm going to drop it down here, and it's going to be 0. Right? And on the next scene, I want it to come out. So I'm going to put it 1. It's going to be like 150. So I'm going to take this one upwards. I'm going to take it upwards here. Now let us see how it's going to work. Position keyframe and then put it on spring. Let's see. spring. I want it to be very fast. Okay, sorry. The height has been the issue. The height has been the issue. Let me see. This position keyframe, right? This position keyframe. Let's, if it's going to be here, no. Let it be here. Why this height is going to move very fast, but let's put the spring upwards a bit. Let's see. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Can you see it? Hello? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so along the line, you are going to like refine it to fit the way you want it to be. Like, let me just open up the one that I did. So you can see it here, right? This is it. It has like a position keyframe, because you're going to see like the keyframe values here at the properties panel on the timeline. So it has a height keyframe. The height keyframe, you can see like the spring, and the spring is 0.75. You understand? And the height too. So the height and the height and the position, right? The height and the position has, okay, let me see. This, yeah, this position. The height and the position have a spring, they have a spring easing, right? So that was how I achieved it. So you just have to make sure that the position is at the point where you want it to be, because it's supposed to like rise up from there. So the first position is here, and the second position is here. As you can see, the first one is here, while the second one is here, and it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing we did here. Yeah, both of them. This one 0.3. I'm going to show you guys something about this custom bezier, especially when it comes to position and scale. Position and scale most times should usually have the same custom bezier. If not, the animation is going to look weird. The animation is going to look weird, and I'm going to show you guys that. Can you see that our lettering now is like, it's better now? Can you notice it?
Yes.
Yes, that's because our positioning now, it's different. Because if we do not position it properly at the point where it's going to come out like perfect, it's going to be weird. And most of the time, it's always good that anything that has to manipulate scale, manipulate position, and manipulate height, you just want them to have the same custom bezier or custom spring value. If one is having custom spring and the other one is having custom bezier, so let's give position custom bezier now, and let us give spring. Let's see how it's going to come out. Can you see that? Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Can you see how weird it is? Let me even say, okay, let me just manipulate it. Let it just, it is not going to work. So most of the time, it's good that they have like the same shared value so that the animation can work. So that is that about this. And I believe I've answered this question and it has satisfied a lot of people, not just the person that asked it, because I know that a lot of people were really curious as to how like that happened. So now that we're done with this, I don't know, I guess did I show this? I don't show this. Can you guys see this stuff here? Okay, this one is not the loop animation. This one, by this time, I had not really figured out that loop animation was something that is possible, regardless. So this is more just like manipulating like environment. As you can see, I have like a long scene here that is just like going, and this box, somebody has a question or somebody is raising their hand. But that aside, let us move to the next value. Let me come to the call. Somebody's raising their hand. Lillian, what's up? Shalom is raising hand. Is it two people that is raising hand? Please drop your question.
Okay, I'm trying to do that the lettering animation that you did.
The
And
what?
when I the lettering animation you did for Coca-Cola, yes. So when I try to when I put keyframe on the height on the position, then on the height, the K is still sorry, the letter is still showing under.
Okay, the letter is showing under.
Yes.
Flatten it. I guess you missed that part. We flatten that text is not a normal text anymore. It's now a vector object. That text is now a vector object. For you to manipulate text, right? Anyhow you want it to be, it has to be, you have to make it a vector. I'm going to show you that now, but just chill. I'm coming. Shalom, what's up?
Yeah, you just answered my question now.
Okay, you had the same question. That's cool. Null, which will null and camera be touched? Null and camera. Camera, you mean like the perspective on how like things are moving and how they are viewed? And null. I might not know them by those terms though, but you will just explain that by the time I'm back there. So we have done like position, right? And have touched like objects on a part. Please, let's not forget that objects on a part, you manipulate it just like the way you are manipulating. And you are going to see all this in the works that I have done so far on Figma Motion. So yeah, that's that. So this is like for position. So scale now, like let us enter scale. Let us enter scale. So let me shut these guys out. Let us enter scale. And I want to explain scale using a rectangle, right? Let's just say like it's a phone mockup now. Let us say it's a phone mockup. This is how I want to explain scale. This is how I want to explain scale. So yeah, let me use this to explain scale. So scale is the next. So scale actually talks about the size of the object in the frame. You understand the size of the object in the frame. For instance, now this is like a phone, right? For instance, now like this is a phone. And for instance, we want to make the phone zoom in and we want it to, I think I should use a frame because there's something I want to show. Or I should just use like, do I have a phone? Let's use this guy. Let's use this guy to be more practical. Let's use this guy to be more practical. So this is a frame. So we want to touch the scale because now I'm going to be doing scale and position. So just pay attention, please, because we're going to be doing some interesting things. I want my logo to show, right? I want this logo to show. So this is what I'm going to do. Because I want to touch scale and position. Pay attention, scale and position. So I'm going to lock in scale and position keyframe. But there's something that Figma does is the fact that I can, if you are looking at this tab here, it means turn on auto keyframe. If I turn on auto keyframe, right, this guy is already here. If I come to this timeline and move this guy automatically, it automatically adds me a keyframe. If I increase the scale, it automatically adds a keyframe for me. But I don't do that. I don't do auto keyframe because I just prefer to, everything should be at my pace and at my control. That's something that I just need to be able to control things so that I can be sure how they move. So I'm going to add a position keyframe at the beginning. And I'm going to add a scale keyframe at the beginning. I just thank God that we have actually touched custom Bezier because we're going to be using it so much right now. And I am really glad that we're not going to be lost. So in the space of 1 second, or let me see like 1.5 seconds, this is going to scale in, or let's just use 1 second. It's going to scale in here. And I lock in position keyframe and scale keyframe. Now I'm going to drag this guy here. What am I going to do again? I'm going to increase the scale. I'm going to still drag it down again. You just have to make sure that you have not moved this timeline away from here, because if you move this, if you this stuff shift even a little bit, any extra motion you put, it has locked in another keyframe. And let me even tell you the one that is worse is when it's moved a tiny bit and it has locked in a keyframe, and the keyframe is twinning with this other keyframe that is here, and your animation is just moving weird, and you are already wondering what the issue is. Just know that a twin is inside here. And the funny part is they can even be locked in on each other, like perfect lock in, like you will barely see it until you tap one and drag it. That is when you are going to see the intruder. So just make sure of that. So I'm going to drag this one down here, and I'm going to, let me just make sure that the scale is here so that you see both of them now. They are, once you see that this stuff is like ticked up, it means that, okay, you are accurately on it. So I'm going to increase the scale. I'm going to reduce it again. I'm going to increase the scale. I'm going to reduce it again. What did I say my aim was again? The person I was talking about camera, I want you to see something, because this is part of camera, because adjusting and working with camera basically has to do with scaling and position. Scaling and position is how we manipulate camera movements and camera eyes in motion design, basically. So I want to show you guys something. Just notice, so first of all, let us look at our timeline. What do we have here? Linear. What do we have here? Custom bezier. Easing is the name. What do we have here? Easing, linear. What do we have here? Custom bezier, easing. I want to show you what's going to happen to this motion now. Just watch. Can you see the way it's doing like gallop? Can you see the way it's moving as if it's on a curve? Please indicate. Okay, how's this call gone?
Yes.
You know, like the truth is I am not on this call. So I'm not on this like Google Meet. So I will be needing your voice to actually like get on. Okay. So this is because these two are not the same value. You must always take note that whatever value you are giving to your scale should be the same value you are giving to your position, regardless of their position on the timeline. That is the same object. So even though my scale is here, it means that I want my scale to happen first before the position. So this phone now will become bigger before it gets here. Watch. But it's still doing that gallop. Are you seeing it? So now, this is what I'm going to do. What was going to happen by the time I copy this value and paste it here? What was going to happen? Can you see that? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Good. So this is how smooth it's going to be. But me, I want it to come in like slow, like I want it to come like zzz. You understand, like that effect that just come in slow and it just ends up fast. So that is why I'm going to adjust this position, and I'm going to reduce this position a bit. I'm going to copy it and paste the same thing, because we can copy and paste values. Actually, I'm going to copy it and paste it here. So that's exactly what you are going to see. Just watch. Can you see that? So whenever like this, like for UI designers or brand designers, maybe like you just want to, so as you can see, it zooms in here, and now we are seeing the logo, and we are seeing like the corner radius. So this is what scaling does. This is what scaling does. So what am I going to do now? I want to take the position back to the middle. I want to take the position to the middle. So this is where the end position is. I'm going to drag it here. I'm going to put it at the middle. I'm going to put it at the middle. It's difficult putting it at the middle there, but let's see what it looks like now. Can you see? Now, what if I want it to start fast and end very slow, like I've showed you guys before? This is how it's going to be. and I'm going to copy the value. I'm going to paste it on the next side because, of course, we want a consistent motion that has head. So this is going to be. Can you see? It starts very fast and it ends slow. Can you see that? So if you want like smooth animation, you have to work on your custom bezier and the timing too, right? You have to work on your custom bezier and the timing. So this is what scale is all about. So another thing is the fact that if you want your animation to remain at a spot like delay.
I didn't get the copy and pasting part.
Okay, what I was saying is the fact that I can copy is the values, right? As long as it's the same custom bezier, I can copy the values because whenever I adjust this, it means I have interrupted the value. And I'm going to copy that value, the value here. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to tap the scale keyframe and I'm going to highlight them and I'm going to paste the new value there. So both of them have like the same value, as you can see. So that is, it starts fast and it ends slow. Are you guys getting me? Let me see thumbs up if you guys are following.
Yes, the same.
Yeah. You said?
The same easing values.
Yes, they have to have the same easing values. Okay, I see thumbs down. Like, what's up? Do you have a question?
I'm getting lost.
Don't get lost though. What's the issue?
The part that when you reposition them, like, is how do I catch myself? The part where I didn't catch when you repeated that reason why the look is going in the same flow. I didn't catch that part.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Rocky, what's up?
Yes, I wanted to ask if you're going to touch null and camera.
Null and camera, you mean?
Yes, like camera movements. I don't know if camera exists on this Figma motion and null as
Like
well.
that, like, no, I don't really that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, we don't, the camera, for you to like adjust camera, right? It's the scaling. That was what I was explaining, right? Because how will I put it? It's with scaling and positions that we use to achieve camera right now. It's with scaling and position. That is what we use in editing camera movements right now on Figma Motion, like the way you saw in this phone animation right now. And that's exactly how it is. Like, that is basically how it is everywhere, to be honest, because when you zoom in, it's assumed like the camera is zoomed in, and that is how it is. You understand?
Okay, I get it. Just,
Yeah,
I think
so
I saw someone mentioning something about camera.
yeah, I saw it on Twitter. It's still the same zoom, it's still the same scale value, it's the same scale value, it's the same scale value. Once you adjust the scale value of the object, it affects the camera. Femi, what's up?
Okay, so I just want to quickly like ask a question. So you were saying that if you want to, have your position and your scale value, that they have to be the same value. So I don't know if you can just like go back a little bit on that.
Oh, all right. All right, let me see. All right, so what I'm trying to say is the fact that if, for instance, like my custom bezier value for the position, it's like this, and the scale value is like this is what is going to happen to the animation. Just pay attention to how the phone is going to move. Just pay attention to how the phone is going to move. Can you see that? Please respond fast so that we can just move to the next.
Yes.
Good. So for them to be able to move properly, right, they just have to be the same thing. Now, imagine if I copy this value now and I paste it here. What was going to happen? Can you see that? So the person that is asking about camera, this is it. this is how we manipulate camera in motion design. Like in like this normal, this is not like in 3D motion design, because in 3D like we actually like literal camera, but like in like 2D like Figma motion here. This is how like you do it, because when it comes closer to the screen, the screen itself, it's more like your view is the camera view itself. The screen, the frame itself is your camera view. It's just like when you're holding your phone now, when you're holding your phone and you can see like the perspective on how things are. So this is basically it. I don't know I want to explain it fast, but like I just hope you get the idea. But you guys already get the idea of what I was trying to explain, right? Both of them just have to be the same thing for the animation to be correct. So that's that. So the next value on the line is rotation. Is now. Mostly is what I use for rotation. So let us bring in coins. Let us bring in coins. So I'm going to train coins, right? I'm going to train coins, and I'm going to start. So in this particular coin animation now, we have learned objects on path, we have learned position, we have learned scale, and now we're doing rotation. Now I want to show you guys something. So at the beginning, I'm going to put a position keyframe 1. I'm going to put a scale keyframe, not really necessary, but let me just put it because we are learning that. I'm going to put a rotation keyframe 2. And I want it to, okay, let it start from 0, or let it just start from, let's say like 170 or so. Then I'm going to go to 1500 or 2 seconds, that is 2000 milliseconds. And I am going to drag it here. And this is what I want you guys to just notice. And what am I going to do? I'm going to, okay, at this particular point, I want to increase the scale to like, just like that. Then I'm going to take the rotation. At this particular point, I'm going to increase the rotation. Like I'm just going to flip it. And the funny thing about rotation is that you can actually rotate to like minus 2000 or minus 1000, but it just depends on what you are looking for actually. So I'm just going to rotate it like, let's just say 800. And the scale, I'm going to take it back to 100%. So that is its original size. And we want all of them to actually be on the same page. So this I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to give all of them this particular value because to be on the same side, even the rotation, I will give it the same value. Everybody should have the same, they should be twinning. Can you see it? Because of the movement, like based on the custom base here, you can see that I have customized it to start fast and end slow. What if I want it to start slow and end like slower? This is how it's going to be. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to select these two. You can actually like select two at the same time, just like the same way you select multiple objects, like hold shift. As long as they are the same value, if they are not the same value, you can't just paste on both of them at the same time. So I'm just going to paste on them and all of them now have the same value. Let's just see what they are going to look like. Can you see that? Then there's something that you would see again. If I stretch this rotational value to 3000, it means that the position keyframe are going to be complete. The object is going to be at the end position while it's going to continue to rotate. This is also a possibility that you might want your own animation that the object is going to rotate, just like the Coca-Cola ball that we did, that it went above and it was still rotating and it came down, jumped up again, it was still rotating. So something similar to this. So let's just see. Can you see? You're going to continue rotating even when it has gone past the, and if we put the rotation to be linear, to be honest, it's not going to affect the way the animation move. It's not going to affect that. but it might just affect how it ends. So let me just ease it a bit at this edge. You can see it. Let me change the position. Let me just change the position. Let's make the position like straight. Let's make the position straight. Let's make the position straight. Let's see how it's going to go. All right. So again, we can now make it to move along a path. Let me just delete everything. So let us make it, let me hide this phone. Let me hide this phone. Let's just focus on rotation and path. As we have learned before. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. It's already 7 o'clock, but yeah, let's go. So I'm going to add a position here, and I'm going to move forward on the timeline. And I'm going to drag it. And I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to bend. Okay, I'm going to bend. And I'm going to go forward on the timeline again. And I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drag it here. Or no, let me just take it here. And I'm going to take it here. And I'm going to hold Control. I'm going to drag. You guys should just follow me. Let me tap this one, drag this one a bit here. I'm going to hold Control here too. I'm going to drag. I'm going to go forward again on the timeline. And I'm going to drag. I'm going to go to the keyframe. And I'm going to hold Control. And I'm going to stretch it up.
Sorry, go back again before you did this one. You didn't control it on the timeline, you just dragged it from the coin.
Okay, yeah. That's like I selected it now. Like if you tap the object, right, you can just select the node to just adjust it. Okay, because I'm
That's
not.
what I mean, like when you are dragging it downwards. I thought you meant to like go back to the timeline.
I did. You are not. You are not. I did. If I didn't, right? If I didn't, you would be seeing an extra. You will not see an extra because I did. I did. We have gone 4 times now on the timeline.
No, this last one, can you just Ctrl Z for like the last one and go back again? Can it
Okay.
work?
All right.
Good.
See, here is it. I went forward on the timeline and I dragged it down. I dragged it down. That was what placed the 4th one. Just have the idea. It does not necessarily mean if you just have the idea that whenever there's a new point, it means that it has gone forward on the timeline. That's just the
And
truth.
you're not putting the keyframes, it's just automatically adding its own keyframe.
Oh, yeah. It will add. Once you adjust, right? Once you adjust the values, from the beginning, yeah, you already locked in your keyframes. So once you lock in your keyframes, any adjustment you make on that value, it automatically adds a keyframe there. It's not you that is coming to press it. As long as you have already changed the value, it's going to add a keyframe there. That's just the truth. So we're going to go forward on the timeline again, and we're going to like smoothen this part, or because I want it to move along this path. Then we're going to move forward again. And I think this should be the final one. Let's just make this the final one. Yeah, let's just make this the final one. And hold Control and drag, just like the way you drag on a normal day. So yeah. So this is linear, and if we are going to watch this, so rotation now, let's add our rotation. First rotation to be here, and it's going to be rotating forward. So we're going to add the rotation value that is going to be like minus something. So let's just drag it to minus. So as it's on linear motion, I want it to end slow. So it's going to have like a consistent motion along the timeline until it gets to the last point. So just watch. Can you see that? Can you guys see that? So this, I'm not getting a response. So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but I thought it
Yes.
was at the end
Yes.
that you added the rotation. So the rotation is happening all over from the beginning.
Okay, yeah, just pay attention to the timeline, right? You cannot have rotation at the ending without having it at the beginning. Okay, I want to show you something now. Can you see this rotation keyframe here?
Mm-hmm.
If I drag this keyframe here, nothing about rotation will happen until it gets here. Just watch.
Okay.
So this is how it is manipulated, and it's the same thing. If I say my rotation should start and end at 1 second, and the object should be at that same, because these are parameters that you are going to juggle with while you are creating your own motion design. There's nothing written on stone. Like I said, everything is an interpretation of your own perspective, right? Your perspective and how you want to communicate an information or a particular thing to an audience. Okay, so for instance, now I cannot really give a use case, but I might have an object that we rotate in and be in its accurate position and will remain consistent on that position till the end of its motion life cycle. So it must not rotate to the very end. Now, just watch what is going to happen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see them? So everything is subject to your interpretation and how you want it to be. So everything is something that this is something that you now go back and practice, find use cases for yourself and practice and find the way you're going to do it. So
What if you want to do a commercial motion? Let's say you're done designing an app and you just want to do a commercial with motion on it. You know, there's sometimes that it will look like as if screens are uplifting on it on the frame or something. Do you know how commercials look like whereby they use motion to achieve it?
when you say commercial, because does this recent work that I did fit the commercial line?
Maybe when you play it, let me get to see.
All right, let's play it and let's see.
Exactly, something like this. But then, it could be like your phone or,
You will
you
always see a phone. Like, let me just leave it. It's going to like come to the phone. It's going to come to the phone parts where the phone like comes in, and you're going to see it. So this part is going to lag because Figma is struggling to interpret this part, but that is not how it's going to be. That is not how it is when it's exported. But this answers your question now, right?
Yes, exactly. But then there'll be text explaining like, okay, this part does this, that part does, maybe highlighting that part. How to highlight
Like
that.
I said, everything is just a combination. Complex stuff are just a combination of like little stuff, right? Because before I started creating all this like complex motion, like since Figma motion dropped, I experimented with all the possibilities that were around it, and I think I was still uploading my findings, like especially when I figured out like this part to motion. I created a video like showing me experimenting with just a small circle moving along the path. But this small circle moving along the path can become a coin moving along the path, can become love popping up moving along a path. As you would see here, let me show you this this animated character I created. This is Jay. So you see Jay coming, Jay is looking, Jay is waving, and he's floating on the spot. And you can see love, like love is coming out of Jay, he's moving along a path, he's moving, he's swerving, as if it's just like floating in the air. Everything is a combination of rotation, opacity, position. Okay, Jay's hand moving consistently is a combination of rotation, position. Yeah, let me just show you what's up on the position side of this. So they are all a group because all of them are like independent moving objects, but you can group them together and give them like together, they can be moving like up and down. Like, but if I go down on J, can you see J's leg? This is J's leg, and
So
what's
you're
on
trying to
J's
say
leg?
that Jay's body itself are groups. So the hands are different from the legs.
Yes, the hands, the leg, the two legs are different, the hands are different. You can see that the properties on J's leg is position and rotation only. The properties on J's hand that is waving, you can see that it's position and rotation, and all of them have different timeline and keyframes. As you can see, because in Figma, there's something I did not show you guys. Once you already have like an animation that you want to loop, you can either loop it or delete the loop. Because if you see here now, right, because I already created the consistent animation and I was sure that if I loop it, there will be no glitch. I just immediately put it on like loop track, and it's
So
going
you
to.
can actually look a particular part. Sorry.
Yes, you can loop it.
Okay.
Just come to this part, right click, and you will see loop track or unloop it. If you tap the loop track, it's going to unloop it. If you tap the loop track, it's going to like tick it and loop it again. And you can also delete just that track. So yeah, so whatever animation you are seeing basically that is looking, maybe it's some kind, maybe cool, exceptional, or out of the world kind of thing, apart from like special effects, I don't know if time will permit us to touch effects. It is just a combination of movement. And I want you to look at these love that are floating. Can you see them? They are moving along a path. And what are their values? Their values are scale, because I wanted it to come in small and grow big. You understand? So, and they have like opacity. They are going to come in invisible. They are going to become visible for a while, and they are going to fade out. So whatever you are animating is still within these parameters that I took my time to start with. So you understand? So looking at it now, you can see that it comes in, and you can see how smooth it floats, that it came in. Let me see, where is the, you can see, look at it. You see the custom bezier value. It came in slow, move fast, and it ended really, really slow. And you can see it here. Look at its movement on the part. Just watch it. And the guy that was talking about camera and like the angle, you basically like see how things like are viewed, like zoom in, kind of. So so like I hope is it clear a bit?
Yeah, I
It's
think
not. It's clear, but I would
yeah.
really want to see the commercial. You doing a commercial.
Okay. So
Commercial.
so classic, please can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
So it's just about this in that part where
You said?
J is that part where J came forward, you know, from when it was floating to when it now came forward, like I want to really get that part. I was trying to get a question clear the other time when you were asking something. I mean, when you were answering something regarding the position, and what's it called now? Your scale, the values that you input, like both your position and your scale, it has to be the same. So it will not be, it will not
Yes.
be something that will be like falling apart. So I really want to get something clear. Is it the same thing that was applied for J to come forward?
Yeah, let's find that out now. Let's see that. Let's find that out. Where is J?
Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wanted to know
I can
if
hear you.
the cartoon image the cartoon image you posted earlier that you were showing us, it was popping out love emojis. So did you import it or you did you import it or you design it the whole?
Oh no, I created it. Oh, look at it now. Look at it. It's an ellipse. It's an ellipse. Look at it. Look at the values. It's an ellipse. It's an ellipse with a lot of properties. You see, motion design, right? Hey, please mute your mic if you are not like asking a question. Somebody has his mic on. Please mute it. Motion design, right? Like I explained, right? It's an offspring.
Okay.
It's an offspring of graphics design and animation. So if you are a UI designer, motion design is going to like level you up. If you're an illustrator, motion design is going to level you up. If you know how to do basically almost everything, motion design is going to level up whatever you are doing. So me, like during my early days in my UI design, the tutorial I followed had a lot of assets that I did not have access to. So I was forced to start creating and learning how to create myself to be able to follow the tutorial. So, and I did practice, but that aside, the whole stuff was like created in the file here in Figma. You can see the values here and you can see the effects on them. We have inner shadows and noise and stuff like that. And this one has a lot of stuff nested inside. I really want to touch masking before we leave today, because masking have a lot inside that would be really, really cool for you to know. So yeah, basically that's that. Okay, now back to the question this guy asked. Just look at J's value, right? Looking at J's value, it is the same thing for position and if you look at it here, position, rotation and scale have the same, and you will see it, right? Is the fact that the way J is moving, right? You can see that rotation and scale, even the position itself was not even having the same value because of the way it was supposed to come inside. Is there even a scale? Is there even a scale value for this? But you can see that J is moving. Can you hear me?
There's a scale value. I mean, that scale value ended up applying somewhere when it's kind of like, scale forward. You get?
Yes. The scale value is there. But should I tell you why? Should I tell you why it will not be noticeable that there will be a gallop here? It's because J is moving in that position that we're trying to avoid. That is his natural. That's why I told you that there's nothing written on stone. You just have to make sure that the motion that you want is exactly what's happening, because in all indication, right, position and scale are not the same thing here.
Yeah.
So J is going to move in that gallop motion that we saw the phone do earlier. But in this animation now, J is actually moving in that gallop position based on the path that has been created for it. So it is natural now that it's not going to be noticed and it's going to be part of the whole animation. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's not that it is bad for them to be the same thing or for them to be different. It depends on the context. I just want to tell you so that, because if I don't state this, you might be facing this challenge and you will not know why your phone is galloping when you want it to just zoom in smooth. But Jay's motion here is the fact that he's a character that is just floating in. So he came in with like some gallop vibe, and you will notice it that he actually like moved in that vibe at the last part of it. And when it is time for Jay to zoom in, right? When it was time for Jay to zoom in, you will see it that what part did it zoom in now? What part did it zoom in? Okay, yeah, this part that is zooming. You will notice that he came in like up, down again, because the whole position was going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down till the last point. I don't know if you get my point. All these things, you are going to get them clear the more you practice. And to be honest, right, I will not lie to you, this stuff is not easy. It's going to require you practicing a lot for you to be able to actually like get good and used to it. It's going to require you practicing a lot and experimenting, because your experience might be different from mine, because there are a lot of things I noticed here that I don't know. I've not really checked like many YouTube videos since Figma Motion dropped, because I was just busy like exploring the tool and stuff. But there are just some things that those big guys might not notice because they might just be killing it, and they might not just maybe encounter some of the issues that I may have encountered or so. So you too, you might encounter some problems personally and you'll be able to fix it that me, I may not have encountered, and I may not have experience with that just because the problem was peculiar to you. So because I noticed this kind of issue was why I was able to figure it out and point it out. So now we have done, and I did not share this. Like, let me show you this. This one we did parts, we did masking, and we did part trim. You understand? There was no, I don't really think was this scale? Was this scale? No, the profiles, they were just moving. There was no scale. Everybody was like on their there was mask. You guys can see this, right?
Yes.
Good. So there was masking, there was like position, and every object was on a path. Like if I highlight this guy now, you're going to see that it's on a path. You're going to see that it's on a path. And I placed it on linear. There's nobody moving fast. There's nobody moving slow. Everybody is moving in a consistent motion. I know that most times when you just enter a tutorial, everybody is moving away from linear and they are doing ease in and ease out. Everything has, every ease in, every position, and every pace have their place of application. That's why I said everything is subject to context. There's nothing that is written on stone. You just have to make sure that you are communicating things right, the pace is right, the timing is right, and it is not too slow, it is not too fast. It should have like the right movement. And one way for you to be really, really good with motion design is to observe real life objects, right? Observe real life objects. Growing up, I love animation a lot. I watched a lot of cartoons, like almost all the Barbie series. Like I watched them like A to Z, like when I was really, really small. I watched cartoons. I drew comics. I watch anime up till now. And the more you just watch animation, the more it basically builds a bit of taste in you. And when you are creating commercials, it's going to influence how things are going to move. Because if I go back to that commercial that I created, I think I'm just going to play the video because that stuff is just going to continue like hanging. So I don't want it to just be hanging. I'm going to do that. So looking at this now, when this stuff came in here, it entered a mask. Like, let me show you, like this is the mask. Can you see it? This is the mask. And immediately enter this mask. The other one is coming out from the other mask. The other one is coming out from the other mask, as you can see here. Can you see it? So there are two masks, and one of the masks is at this point, while the other one is at the other point. This is the second mask. So that is where masking comes in, and I'm going to make sure we touch masking before we leave. I'm going to make sure of that because masking is very, very, very important. Like, very important. It does a lot of magic, and I love it. So what else have we not touched? Like, let me come in. So we have done heights. Okay, corner radius. Let me see corner radius.
I
Now,
think it basically follows the same principle with what we've learned about the keyframes.
You
So
said?
we can just, I believe it follows the same principle with the keyframes that we learned, adding keyframes and editing the properties and changing keyframes. So probably we can just focus on masking.
Okay, yes. Yeah, you are right. You are right. So yes, let's talk about masking. Now in Figma, right, you cannot just mask a
Sorry,
frame.
more about when you talk about the keyframe part, we didn't talk about for strokes. So understand it on strokes.
Yeah, we're going to do that now. We're going to do part string first, self before stroke, before masking. Let's talk about part string. Let's talk about part string. That is an interesting part. I hope I did not delete a hand. Thank God I did not delete it because that would have been a lot of stress for me right now. All right, let's talk about part trim, guys. Let me enter first. Let me see some thumbs up. Yes, let me see some thumbs up. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So let's talk about path string, because this guy right here is so interesting. I don't know why, but Figma, maybe it's not available to everyone yet, just like the way perspective 3D perspective is not available to everyone yet. I can't add I cannot customize the I can't say the variable width. I can't turn, once you touch variable width on this, it's not going to go again. So this is path string. Can you see this? Indicate, please. This is path trim. If you can see this, just indicate this is path trim. And we are going to add a keyframe here. 1. And what does path trim do? This is start path trim. This is path trim start. This is path trim end. And at start path trim, 0% it's going to be full, but at 100% it's going to disappear. I'm going to show you what that means. This is what it means. I have locked in a keyframe at the beginning, and I'm going to go to 1 minute, right? No, sorry, 1 second. That is 1000 milliseconds. And I'm going to put in 100. Now, what's going to happen? I'm going to show you what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Can you see that?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, so this is the power of path trim, right? So from 0 to 100, you understand? So now let me show you what end path string does. I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to add an end path string. End path string at 100, I'm going to take it to 0. It's going to disappear. And I'm going to go to this beginning, and I'm going to put it at 100. Now you're going to see what's going to happen. Can you see that? Can you see that? So whatever your path is going to animate, and you are at liberty to decide, should I make it start slow and let it end fast? Okay, because that was something I did in that commercial I did. It's going to start slow and it's going to end fast. Start slow and it's going to end fast. Or do I want it to start slow and end slow? So let's see how it's going to go. Can you see that?
So, which means you used path trim in that Coca-Cola.
Bam. Yes, of course I did. But I used it with masking, because Figma cannot allow us to do like path trim on any curve at all. You understand? Figma cannot allow us to just do path trim on any curve at all. So for me to achieve that stylish curve, I had to create a mask, create my curve, then put a path trim inside, scale it up to fill up the mask so that it can have that vibe. So that was basically what I did, and you are going to see that. Now let me show you one interesting thing about path trim. Is the fact that you can use it for logos. I did use it for logo. I'm going to show you. So let me put in my, okay, no, it does not work like this. Path trim, another thing that you will need to know about path trim is the fact that, in Figma, right? Let me go back to this. In Figma, it allows us to create paths like this. It allows us to create paths like this, right? I'm going to show you something. It allows us to create paths like this. You know that, right? Both of them are a single path. You understand? They are separate, but they are together. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, we get it.
Bam.
Yes.
As it is like this, it cannot exhibit that value. I don't know if they have updated it, but based on what I know, it will not. Are you seeing it? I am increasing and decreasing and nothing is happening. Can you see that? So
Yes.
don't feel frustrated when you have created your stylish logo and you're expecting magic to happen. It won't happen. But if it's single like this, that is if the system have not recorded. If it's single like this, can you see that? It's going to work. Okay, it's going to work. So now the path trim, an interesting thing about it is the fact that you can just, as long as they are all in single line, like, you know, all this signature, this looks similar to my signature. Anyway, you know, all this signature stuff. So we can actually like lock in a pattern to this. So I'm going to call, no, I prefer using end pattern. But okay, let me just see where it is coming from. No, I want it to be end pattern because there's a way I want it to come in. So I'm going to put it 0, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to put it 100. I'm going to put a value of 100. And yeah, I want it to come in really slow, and it's going to end slow. So let's see what that is. And I'm going to, let me just drag it to 2,500. Let's just see what's going to happen. Let me close the other pattern so that it just focuses. So I just focuses on it. So let's see what happens. Just watch. Where is this one coming from now? Where is it? I thought I hid all of them. Let me see. Where is this? Okay. Just watch. Can you see that? Can you see
Yes,
that?
we can see it.
Good. So everything is subject to your interpretation and your creativity. So the idea of having a pattern alone already gave me multiple ideas that I can combine with other parameters. Like, just imagine there was something I did. I'm going to show you guys. And we can add effects on this. Like, let's add like texture. And on effects, like I said, when you see keyframes, just rejoice, because you are rejoicing because you can add and remove. So I'm just going to make all these values 0, and I'm going to go to the front, and I'm going to add let's say values of 0.5, 0.5, and this is texture, right? Yes, I'll just add like 0.5, 0.5, or should I just increase this? Does it increase this? All right, let's see how it's going to go. Let me just drag it here so that I just want everything to, so. Can you guys see that?
Okay, so what's now the difference for you to max with the past trim?
Well, we are going to come into max, but I just want to be sure that we get the path trim clear. Is the path
Yes,
trim clear now?
we get it. It's clear.
All right. So let me see what other parameters are worthy of. But in the okay, I'm going to use that X animation to explain some part of this, like effects, the effect side of things. Okay, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use to explain that effect side of things. So I've touched position, I've touched scale, and yeah, well, touch part. So let us enter masking. What is masking? Like it says, like it's basically like covering something up. That is what masking is about. It's basically like covering something up. And I'm going to explain using this coin. So this coin, it's here. And let's say like this coin falls into a black hole. Let me cover this up. Okay, good. Everything is gone. So let's say this coin falls into a black hole. Let's say that is the perspective, or that is the idea that we want to give to it. Oops. Let's say that's the idea we want to give to it. You see this? We can't mask this guy inside here. But let me show you what's going to happen if we do so. Because I know some of you want to assume this might be the mask, but nope. Let me show you what's going to happen. Can you see? It is hidden. But this on its own is still an idea. It's still a creative idea. If depends on the context, like I said. It's not everything that I can actually teach. But let me show you where the masking happens. And most of the time, I like creating my mask. If it's not something that is straightforward, I just like creating it with a pen tool on my own. So if you are not good with pen tool, you just have to go and practice a lot on how to be really, really good with pen tool, because it's going to be really, really necessary in your journey. The more versatile you are, the better for you. That's just the truth. That is just the truth. So I'm going to, because this is the part that I want. You are seeing that I'm trying to trace it on the line of the circle, right? So that it can be really, really accurate, because this is where everything is about to enter. So I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to send it to the back. I'm going to send it to the back. I'm going to select the coin, only the coin. And I'm going to select my mask. Your mask should always be behind the object you want to mask it, or the mask is the container, the object is the object. So I'm going to mask. So I'm going to mask, and we're going to be playing around with a lot of things that we have learned so far today. Number one, position. So entering the Figma motion interface, I'm going to go to the beginning, and I'm going to put a position keyframe. I'm going to drag it upwards. Okay, should not be like, okay, I'm going to drag it upwards. Actually, I'm going to drag it upwards. I'm going to show you guys something I want to do. So I'm going to drag it upwards, and I'm going to come here. I don't know how fast we want it to fall. It should be really, really fast, because it's a coin and it's heavy. So let's just try to make it fall fast. And I'm going to loop it. I think this is a good position where I'm going to show you guys and teach you guys something about looping movement of objects. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to drag it downwards. Just watch how it's going to enter the black hole. It has gone into the black hole. It went, because why? We already created a mask there, so it's going to look really real. That is exactly what we want to tell our audience. So it's going to fall in, like it's going to fall in fast, right? Yes, it's going to fall in fast. I think linear self is good. Linear is good. Let it just fall like straight motion. Let's leave it at linear. So let's see what's going to happen. Too slow. We want it to come down like bam. Can you guys see that?
I was thinking you were going to like duplicate it, so we would have like different variations, like 3 coins falling at different positions.
No problem. Just get this idea first. You are going to see that. Just get the idea. The idea is the most important part. Just get
So
the idea,
sorry,
because
what you marked was the illustrated angles and the coin, not the ellipse.
yeah, you can actually mark the ellipse, but I don't really see a need for that, because the ellipse might be cut, or I might not want, my mask may not be this wide. My mask would have just been just this particular part. So that's why I did not really see any need of masking my ellipse. The ellipse is just the whole. But let's just get to the point.
That you have to like draw it. What if you just draw another like another vector with the same shape of the ellipse? Will it still work?
No, it will not work. It will not work without a pencil. Do you know why? Let me show you something. You cannot, like, that was why I said, like, you are talking about like duplicating this. Okay, once you duplicate it, so how do you expect to get this surface area? Where is the coin falling from? How do you expect to get this surface area? What's the magic you want to perform? You increase the height, it has destroyed it. It will affect this place. The coin is going to affect it. It will no longer be this shape. So it will never look real. It's just going to show that the coin is cutting at one corner here. You get the point? So yeah, so to achieve that, the bottom has to be curved, while the other parts just have to be straight. So that is how it works. So let us go back. Let's go back inside. So this is what I want to do. I'm going to add an effect. I'm going to select the mask itself, or not the mask group. I'm going to select the mask itself. I'm going to add an effect. And what effect is going to be layer blur. And I'm going to make it progressive because I don't want it to affect the ellipse, because if I put progressive, no, it's not going to affect it anyway. Let me just put it like uniform. And I'm going to spread it wide so that it's just going to be like the coin is falling from heaven one kind. Okay, you don't spoil. I think I need to use progressive blur now and not like normal blur. I'm going to use progressive so that it does not affect this bottom. So I'm going to use progressive blur so that it does not affect the bottom. So this is the end. I'm going to make the end 0 and I'm going to make the beginning 100. So once it falls direct, but the top is still, let's just make it 50. The top is still like faded a bit. So this is how we're going to loop it. If you guys are paying attention, based on the fact that it's at the top here, and I think I want to take it above away so that you might not see it. You are going to just see what I'm going to do here. But let us add rotation keyframe. Let's add rotation keyframe. Let's add scale. Let's add rotation. So at this point, I'm going to increase the scale to about, let's say, 135%. I'm going to rotate it this way. Okay, now I'm just going to rotate it backwards. And I'm going to go forward. You see how big it is now? I'm going to come here. At this point, it should be small. So I'm going to reduce the scale here, right? But it should continue to rotate. So I'm going to increase the rotation here to about almost, so let's see what that looks like. Can you see that? I think the rotation itself is too much. Let's just reduce the rotation. Can you see how they are at different points on the timeline? That's like based on context. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you.
Good.
We can hear you.
Good. So that's because it is based on like the context. You understand? So everything now is subject to your interpretation. I can also like reduce this so that the rotation would be slow. So let's just say minus 500. Let's see how slow it's going to be. And if I want it to be really slow, I can just drag it to the front. So you can see that it just like falls in. So now let us loop it. So I'm going to copy all of them. What am I going to do? Okay, first of all, right, based on the fact that it's already down here, this is what I'm going to do. First things first, because of this rotation that is here, I am going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here, right? And what am I going to do now is I'm going to select all of them. I'm going to copy them, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to paste it here. And what am I going to do again? I'm going to drag it. I'm going to keep it here. Now let's see what's going to happen. Oh, it went back. It went back because it overlapped. But let's see what's going to happen now. Can you see that?
No, I don't understand this part though.
Hey, like it's looping, right? It entered and it
But
went
you
back,
didn't
or we did not see
set
it.
it on looping now.
Yeah.
You didn't set it on looping. I didn't understand the copy and pasting part towards that ending that you did.
All
I
right,
thought you were meant
let's go back. This is what I meant, right? We can't necessarily loop this. Let me show you what's going to happen. Like looping, and that's why I said everything is always subject to context. Let me just loop everything and let me show you what's going to look like. Let's loop and see. Can you see that?
There's going to be a difference in the way it's looking.
Because once it comes here now, it's already can you see that the scale? Can you see how the scale is malfunctioning here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have looped the scale. So the scale has finished here. It's supposed to scale again here. Just watch, it's scaled here. Now it's scaling again, it's reducing again. Now it's scaling again. You understand? So for us to not have this, we have to loop it ourselves, then maybe finally loop it using Figma. So to do that, this was what I did. I copied this and I pasted it here because I wanted it to like basically delay here, right? So everything too, I'm going to like copy this scale and paste it here. And what am I going to do? What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make it like start again. So I'm going to copy everything now, and I'm going to bring it close. I'm going to bring it close. I'm going to zoom in very well. I'm going to bring it close in a way that when I paste it, people will not see it going back up. So let's see how that goes. Now I want to slowly take it for you so that you see if by any chance it scales up by mistake when it's coming back. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing that it's consistent?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you guys hear me?
yeah.
Now, at this point, if we loop it now, it's not going to have that issue it had initially. Now, let us see if we are right or not. Just watch. Can you see it? Let me extend this timeline so that we can see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? That's because we have already taken care of that looping part here. So if we want like multiple coins, we can duplicate this, right? We can duplicate this. Like I told you earlier, you can move the position of an object by just clicking the top. If you click the top here, you can just move it, right? We can move it, but we can't really be moving them up and down because as you can see, this hole is very small so that it does not like cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the value on the timeline, okay? And I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to shift the value. I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm just going to shift the value basically. So well, I'm just going to shift it small. So I'm just going to be seeing them falling almost at the same time. So let's just see how it's going to be. Can you see that? Can you guys see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so that's like us, like basically. So this is one part of masking, though. This is one part of masking. Now let us do that Coca-Cola swirl. Let's do that banner. Let me just bring it here so that you can create it.
Sorry, I don't know. You were going to like, you use the sorry to take you back a little bit. You're going to use that
You said?
scenario of I said you were going to use the scenario of that one that was moving and it was moving from dark to light. I don't know. It was moving
Dark to
from
light.
like
Which one?
the one that has gray effects, and it was moving to the one that has the images were changing when it got to the other side. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
that one. Hmm.
yeah, somewhere there.
Yeah. Before we get to that one, let's just time has gone. Let's just do this.
Okay.
Let's just do this first. I think I'm going to end with that one. This is the one you're talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to give an example with that. But let's do this first. So let's change background to red. This is the mask. I can just remove it. So They are out from the group now and they can be separate. So this is more like the Coca-Cola. I don't. They just rebranded, so this might not even be it anymore. They have like changed it a bit. So let me just delete this. Let me do one myself. All right. Okay. So I want to show you like a very quick way to just like create like an animated mask like vibe. Animated mask vibe. This one is not smooth yet, or yeah. Okay, so let's make this white, and this is what I want to do. I want it to like come in. So to do that, I'm just going to mask it behind a rectangle. Basically, that's one of like the fastest way to go around this, and you don't need like path trim for this particular one. Is this inside here? I'm not sure. Let me put it inside. So I'm going to select the both of them and I'm going to mask it. So I'm going to enter like Figma motion. And what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the width. I'm going to select the mask itself. You can see this is the mask group. But I'm going to select the mask itself. And I'm going to affect the width value. So this is the width, and I'm going to lock in a keyframe here. So at the beginning, the width value is going to be 0. So I'm going to put it 0. And you can see it here, it's 0. Then I'm going to come forward to 200 millisecond, a bit 2000 millisecond. And I'm going to give it a value of like, let's say 1440. Okay. So watch how the animation is going to go. I want it to start slow and I want it to end slow. So let's see how that's going to turn out. Just watch and see. Can you see that? Can you see that? So you can basically use this. Are you guys still here? You can.
Yeah, but can you achieve my path trim on this one?
Yeah, because you're going to mask it, but you don't need path trim for straight movements like this because you cannot right now. We can't add path trim to a part that have been. And let me just show you what I mean. For instance, this is a part, and I'm going to enter Figma Draw, and I'm going to. No, it's not. I'm going to add. Okay, I'm going to double click. And when I double click, I can add variable width. So I'm going to add variable width here. And I'm going to lock this in like this. Now let us enter Figma Motion. And let us try to add a path trim. From my last exploration, it was not possible. For any weird reason, it was not possible. And we can see that it already had a path trim. So let us see if it's going to work. Can you see that it's not working? Can you guys see that it's not working? There's a path trim added to it. There's already a path trim. But it's not going to work. Why? Because the path has already been altered by adding a variable width to it. So this is something that they have not fixed yet, or I don't know if it's just how the app is going to be. So that is something that does not work. So right now, this is what is feasible for stuff like this. But what if we want to do something complex like the other one that rotates? That is where path trim comes in, but it needs to be maxed. So let me say that this is how it is. Okay. Let me say that this is how it is. That my part came in like this, and it has this, it has this curve to it that is not like entirely let me just say here. So let me just edit this so that it can be smoother. so that it can be smoother. Okay. All right. So this is not the best form, but there's no time to be refining it right now. But let us say this is how we want our stuff to be. Let me show you what's going to happen if we try to use, is somebody talking? Let us see what happens if we try to use like a normal rectangle to like reveal it. You are going to see what's going to happen. So let us add a width value and let us expand it here. You are going to see what's going to happen. Just see. Can you see it? Can you see that it's not?
It's weird.
It's weird. Yeah, that's just the word. It is weird. So now let me show you the trick. Somebody's mic is on, and the person, there are voices in your background. Please, can you mute your mic? Thank you. All right, so let me delete this. Let me show you. Oops. Let me delete this on group. On group now. Why is it still looking grouped? Man, this is not easy. My eyes are already turning me. Okay, let me show you what I did. Now you come here, you pick up your pen tool. You will need to learn how to use a lot of illustration like technical because you would be needing it. You need to know how to use your pen tool very, very well, comfortably well. You need to practice that a lot. So we already added this, and I am going to increase it. I'm going to increase it beyond the part because I don't want any inconsistencies. I want it to be very, very accurate. I want it to be very, very accurate. So I'm going to adjust it. Now I'm going to adjust it here. And I'm going to expand it. I'm going to expand it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to select, let me just make sure this is inside. Let me make sure that this is inside, and I'm going to select the both of them, and I'm going to mask. Chakam. So as you can see, our vector is already inside our mask. So I'm going to make it white, and this is what's going to happen by the time I get into Figma Motion. At the beginning, I am going to use an end trim because I want it to start from the end. So I'm going to add an end trim, and I'm going to make it 0. So I'm going to come at 200 millisecond, and I'm going to make it 100. So making it 100, and I'm going to play it, and you're going to see how it's going to turn out. So let's go. Can you see that? Forget that stuff that is blinking. Down a Figma Motion matters. Like that is their own. But just see it. Can you see that? Can you guys see it?
Technology.
Yeah, basically. And the interesting part is let us do same for this guy that is looking like an end time trumpet. All right, let's do same for this guy here. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to add. So I'm going to like curve it properly, and I'm going to select the both of them. I believe you are selected, and I'm going to mask. And I want it to come from here to here. So I think I'm going to use a start path train. And I think I'm going to just relocate their position here so that we can see them. Or I should just lock every other person. I'm going to close every other person's eyes so that we just, okay, not this one. I'm going to close every other person's eyes so that we just focus on this. So I'm going to select the vector within, and I'm going to add a start. I'm going to make it end path trim always wins. All right, I'm going to I'm going to make it 0, make it white, and I'm going to come to this ending, and I'm going to make it 100. Now just watch what's going to happen. Let's go. Can you see that? Can you see that? So basically, this is how we can achieve things like this in Figma Motion for now, pending when they start giving us the ability to edit vectors, variables, and animate them. But for now, I just mask. So let's just show everything that we have masked so far. Let's all the animations we have done. Okay, no, it's not this one. All the animations we have done so far. So can you see them? So individually, yeah, they can just like come in at separate times. So yeah. So any other question? I think we're done for today. So
Yeah, I think one thing I just noticed again, although I think is practically around the things we can learn. I saw in one of those projects, I think text animation, and then
okay.
some lines were moving across, creating a kind of glossy feeling across objects.
Oh, that is masking too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's masking.
Then for the text, is it also masking? I think I saw colors changing in the text, and then definitely the text swiping to each other.
That's position, opacity, position and opacity.
Yes. Then what about
So
the color changing?
the color, where did the color change? Where is that project again? This project is not finished though. We have like really interesting stuff that will be coming up. But yeah, so I think I get you. I am echoing. Why? Somebody just mute so that I do not echo. So yeah, like this beginning, right? Can you see these colors that just came in? And the interesting part is this thing was masked too. This beginning part was masked. If I locate it, like you can just see how many this. Okay, this is their component value. But this particular one was masked. It was masked. In fact, it was masked in a circle. It was coming out from a circle. And the text itself is a mask that is masking 3 rectangles. One is the rectangle that...
Okay, so those rectangles are masked inside the text.
Yes, they are masked.
So the rectangles are the ones actually carrying the color.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they are what carrying the color. So that's why I told you that masking is very powerful.
I will not even lie. You see this particular one that he did a lot of commercial on. It needs its own separate day.
Let's separate this. all these ones are.
Look at the way those texts queued just now.
We already know the basics, right? We already know the basics, but it's easier for you because you already understand the concept.
No, you see the thing, right? Can you guys just mute first because it's echoing? Here is the thing. I told you guys that every complex animation is just a combination of basic animation. When you look at an animation, there's nothing so special happening there. All you are seeing is, I think I should just go to the originals. Let me just go to the originals. So this is like part 1. And what is the first? Okay, we have cursor. Can you see the cursor's part? Can you see how many parts the cursor traveled throughout the part 1? The cursor was just traveling. It was just traveling, waiting for the right moment. It will come back inside again with speed. It will travel out again. It will move. it will wait for the right moment, it will travel out again. It was just traveling. And that's exactly what we have touched. Object on a path. That's one. Now let us go to the text. Where is the text? Where is the text?
We didn't even talk about the fact that you can, edit in components too.
How? I did though. I did at the beginning of this class. I did.
Maybe I didn't enter then because I
Yes,
didn't
you were
know
not
that you have
for
this
good
about
18
even.
minutes. For
Who
good
is laughing? See, people are laughing. I'm being serious. See
No,
this
no, seriously.
commercial.
I think
If you
I
didn't do
joined
it
from the
again on the
beginning.
phone, I'm
I
not
joined
even
from
going
the
to try.
beginning. Oh, wait.
Sorry.
I joined from the beginning, but I didn't get that part, honestly.
You see,
like
this
what part? The component part.
word because we can't just
Yeah.
keep creating baby things. We want to actually create for
The
commercials,
component
and
the
you see
component
that
part has
you have
nothing to do with
to
commercials.
screen.
So the
So
component
what
part
is this
was
for?
the component part was to save me from breaking my laptop, because at a particular point in the creation, Figma motion would glitch. So, like I explained at the beginning, you have to look for a part
So this was
where
like a mood board on how you wanted the animation to go. All of these screens was like a mood board.
okay, not a mood board. This is a storyboard. Look at the storyboard here.
Sorry, the storyboard rather.
Yeah,
This
this is
is
the
the
storyboard.
style on how you want it to move.
Not
Good.
move, on how I want it to look.
Sorry.
Storyboard was about looks, how it should look. This one did not make it to the storyboard. Some parts were added that were not on the storyboard, but regardless, they will come in
And how you
later.
want it to look. But that's the
Yes.
thing I'm saying. Maybe I don't know. I'm begging. Do you
No,
understand?
there is no need, to beg. I would actually like try to see if I can explain that, but a course is actually coming up, but it's something that's going to take time to like do, because motion design, I can't even lie to you, it's not something that you can just I don't know. Let it not. I don't want to use the word that is the most difficult part that I have seen in design, but I don't want to use that word so that my fellow UI designers, website designers, and
So
maybe
all
graphic
these things
will
now
not come
that
from
is
my head.
everything. Sorry, classic. Everything you did around the storyboard was in one screen. It wasn't like it was moving in different screen. It was just everything that was moving around was in one screen.
All right, you were not here at the beginning, so I'm going to actually like go over that. But before then, I want to show you the power of masking. Why masking is important. Can you see the mask? Can you guys see the mask? Can you guys see the mask revealing the text?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. And the text had a scale property, and you can see it is scaling in. So there is a mask masking the text. The text itself is a mask, masking tiny rectangles that have to move from point A to point B. So everything, and they will still fade out into the mask, and as it's fading out, another text is coming out. And the scroll effect, and bro, all these things are, to be honest, right? All these things are just going to be in a master class. It's not something that I can just settle down and just start teaching, to be honest. That's why I believe that if you understand the basics, trust me, if you understand the basics, building little stuffs, they will compound into more complex stuff. Because this is just like the part one. As you can see, I labeled it part one. Look at the timeline. Just look at the timeline. You see how many things are inside the timeline. And I placed some things on repeat. What was I even placing on repeat? What was this? What was on repeat? Okay, this the rotation, the height, and I think the rotation. Yeah, basically that. So, like looking at these stars now, are still exactly what I was teaching you guys. It has a path. Look at the path. It came in, they stayed, though, they rotated, and they reduced in scale. Look at the properties. We have position property, rotation property, scale property, opacity properties. And they just moved and they started like shifting. All this one too are still masked. The whole text are masked inside, and they are masking other text too. And this one is still part trim. You see part trim. Part trim came in to form love. And you can just see all these objects. All these objects, they have their movement life cycle at different timing, but they all came in with scaling property, rotation property, and opacity property. Everything is just a combination. Okay, I think I want to touch something before I will go. That is
So
like,
if,
I think
are you using a mouse or a trackpad?
trackpad care. God, I beg you. No, I don't I don't use trackpad. It's stressful. Trackpad is stressful for me, to be honest. Trackpad is stressful for me. I use a mouse, actually, a Logitech MX Master 3 mouse.
Okay.
So yeah. So at this point now, because as at this point, it was already lagging here. I noticed it. So I had to bring in a transition, and immediately the transition ended here. I had to go and start a new scene here in part 2. So part 2 was
So
now the part where
how did you connect the two screens? Like
you are
it
going to
was
see it. You are going to see them. That is why they became components. I said this thing at the beginning. That was why I wanted to start with it. I started with it at the beginning. For good 18 minutes, we were talking about it, and you were not here.
Oh
But
Chimo.
so it's not going to be my fault, but I'm just going to touch that, and we're going to do like UI before we go. So this is like the part 2. So the part 2 started with the cloud, exactly where part 1 ended, and the part 2 started with the cloud, and it entered like the transition into like the mobile screen. And yeah, you can see that everything is coming in. I think I want to do like mobile phone, mobile phone, mobile screen animation, because I think UI designers now, but which is basic in my opinion though, but I guess a lot of people might want that. So at this point, it came in here, and we're about to enter
Sorry,
another
the
transition.
animation, sorry, excuse me, Mr. Classic. I'm so sorry. The animation that was going on the phone, was it from motion design itself too?
Yeah, look at it now. Let me tap them. Look at them on the timeline.
This man, why you there this time?
Okay.
Look at it on the timeline. Can you see them? Okay, and one interesting thing, yeah, I think I'm going to just do this one. I was going to end with it. My head already aches like mad. So I think we're going to do this one. And as you can see them, all the communities, everything is coming in, and you can notice even the music, you can see the Ashake music is playing. Can you see the Ashake music is playing? But you will not notice it because it's going to be fast. But all those ones are just chef kissing for the whole thing. But it's going to be playing like
I
you're going
think
to see.
there's a way those profile
Figma motion has got to put
icons
opacity somewhere now. All right. Continue. You were saying what?
Yeah, there's a way those profile icons just syncs with the scaling of the phone, and it's a bit.
Okay. This is what this is how it goes, right? You see the thing. The phone itself is a frame and it's a parent. Every content inside the phone are children. If the parent scales, the children scales. If the parent reduces, the children reduces. But if by any chance you want the child to be at a certain position, regardless of the size of the parent, you have to determine that position by yourself by adding a scale value. You understand? Just
Like
practicalize. You're going to like
like
get
a
it done.
scale value separately to the children.
Yeah, separate from the parent itself. As you can see, regardless of whether the parent is scaling because this parent is not only scaling, the position is changing, but you will not see it because everything is smooth. But if you were here earlier when we did that phone scaling, you will see that we did position and we did scale together. You understand? And that's exactly what happened here. And still on the custom base here, you can see that, and looking at my timeline, you will see that position did not start until this particular point here. The position was constant all through until it got here. Are you seeing that all of them are not starting at the same time? Are you seeing that opacity started first before scaling? Then before we now entered position. You understand?
Yes.
So that's that. So on this particular notes. So let's just touch like so at this particular point, I was looking for a way because at this point it was still behaving like if as if it was already this logo here, it was already tampering with it. So it was already glitching at this point. So I said, let me just transition from here. There's no need continuing. So I have to like find a way to look for my next transition. And because I looked at the next screen on the storyboard, I saw that the background is white. So I was looking for a way to introduce the white background because if you notice, on the storyboard, after the cloud, the next background was red. So you saw the way I introduced the red background in the part 2. You can see the way I introduced the red background with like 3 rectangles that just increased in height. I added an opacity keyframe, I added height keyframe, and that was how they were able to enter, and every other thing just flew in at the same. And when everything was about to leave, every other thing were fading off. As they were fading off, this other guy here moved away, and the chart had to expand and turn white. So that was how we entered part 3. What is part 3? Is this part 3? Nope, it's not part 3. Okay, yeah, that is how we entered part 3. So from part 3, from the white background, the text came in and all the bubbles came in, and every bubble is still the same thing I've just taught you. It's just a path, objects moving along a path. Objects moving along a path, and the fact that they are just moving as if they are bubbles moving up and down, you can still see that it's still position. So whatever thing that you are doing is just along these parameters, to be honest. It's just along these parameters. There's nothing that is outside these parameters. Everything is just around these parameters. And living now, I had to like, because the next thing now is this thing. I had to introduce the background, and I introduced it by moving in a big rectangle with a layer blur effect at the front so that it just like covers it up and everything. That is how we
Yeah, that
introduce.
was really slick. And the way you use that layer blur, it didn't show like a block of transition. It just gave this dreamy, soft transitioning.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's why I said everything is based on like personal interpretation and perspective. That's just the truth. Everything is subject to personal interpretation and perspective. So that is how we introduce part 4. So this part 4, and at the end of the day, right, like I said, I say if your graphics is not good, I don't know the kind of animation manipulation that you want to do that is going to cover up for your bad graphics. So that's that. So that aside, that was how we introduced part 4, and part 4 was like the whole community stuff. I just wanted like the different vibe, and hierarchy was very important. As everything was changing shape, many things have to go, concentration has to go to the middle, and everything has to come. And you can see, I don't know if you noticed, but I have reused some components like twice. I have reused this love. This love, I used it before, but they were coming in at 2 different angles. But at this point, they came in from the same side. I used the love twice. In fact, there are some components I just copied and just threw into. So at this particular point now, everything fades off, and we have to move to the last part, which is part 5. And part 5 does not even have a background. And that was intentional because there was no need for that. Since I already gave enough timing in part 4, because if you look at part 4, it has ended, but the rectangle that came in, the rectangle that came in would still be showing as long as the timeline is full here. So there was no need for that. So that was why I just took out the background from this, since it's the same background. And that was where the phone came in. And you can see the icons, right? Regardless of their appearance, they will be moving in at their own side. And you see this love, you see those love that is popping out. That is the same love we used for J. I just copied it and brought it here. That is the same love we used for that J animation. And it came out, the arrows came, and yeah, part stream again for the logo. And this is mask. Can you see this stuff?
Yeah. Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, we
Good.
can see. I think you used it on X animation.
Yes, very nice. And yeah, This is also
So
a
please,
math.
I really want to get to understand how do I even want to speak this English? Is
How
it
it
that
connects
one
the
frame?
components you were talking about.
Yeah, the company was
All
figuring
right.
out everything
The-
was on one frame.
yeah. So this is where everything finally comes into one frame. From part one to the last part. So the first part comes in, like I said, everything is in one frame and they have an opacity keyframe added to them that makes them to fade in, right? Because without the opacity keyframe, everybody is showing, everybody is showing. The one that will show more, the one that is showing will be the one like the screen at the top. The screen at the topmost is the one that will be showing. So if you add an opacity keyframe that allows it to be closed, because looking at this now, the opacity keyframe, you see how close it is. It is at 0 here, right? Then once you start playing, it shows, right? But this is not the top one. The one that is showing right now does not have an opacity keyframe. Let me look for it. Look at it. Not to explain it, pass. But just know that this is how they are. All of them have an opacity keyframe because once one is done, I will reveal the next one. Do you understand me? Once one is
Yes, I
done,
get it.
I will review the next one. So the opacity keyframe helped me to tell when the next one should show and when it should not show, because without the opacity keyframe, it will just show. So that
Okay,
was
so
how.
everything is layered together inside of this single box.
Yes. Everything is layered together.
Okay, then what's the concept of the component in there?
Okay, without the components, right? You might just touch things and a lot of things will be confusing for you. Imagine having the whole keyframe of each component spread out on this timeline. It will be cumbersome for you, to be honest. So what I did is because honestly, you can just copy them and they will just work together, but all their values will be spread on this timeline, and it does not make sense because it's just easy for you to have them here, and when you want to make any edits, you go to their parents, edit it, and it will be automatic here.
Okay, so the instances are what we're using in the
Yes,
final.
it's the instances. It's the instances. So the parents are already independent and you just make adjustment. It's the same concept with like composition or in like video editing or After Effects. So basically you can see them and all of them overlap each other, just like the way you used to edit videos normally.
I
So
don't know if I'm the only one though. Is there anybody else that is still confusing too?
this thing
For you
confusing.
to the concept, you have to understand the concept of components and instances to actually understand it.
But for me, Sha, I just feel like if you edit on CapCut,
I
to
think
be
it's
honest, all these
knowledgeable.
things will not be hard. But
I think maybe it's knowledge. Maybe we'll revisit this thing another. I don't know if he would do another class.
Sorry, Mr. Classic. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I think this is what she's trying to say. Like when you do components in Figma and then you do on delay that okay, after a while, you can set it to maybe if some fractions of a second, then the new design will not come in.
Okay, no, let me show you something.
So it's not on
Just
click
chill.
or it's just on delay.
No.
You guys don't get
No. That's not it. Wait, I think I get your point.
what I'm
Let me
trying to
just
say is that now I
wait. Let me show
understand
you.
something. Maybe you
Wait.
talk.
Can you wait?
Okay.
Can you just wait? I want to show you something. All right. I'm coming. Just give me a minute. Let me see. I just want to show you. Let's just end with this because I've pushed past my time. Let me just make them. So this is part 1. This is part 2. Where's part 3? This is part 3. I did this at the beginning of the class, but let me just do it now so that We can just call it again, and this is part 5. And what am I going to do? I'm going to get a frame. Let me just take one from our storyboard, since they don't have like animation inside them. I'm just going to delete this, and I'm just going to put all of them inside, and I'm going to align them. Since they are components, there's no need being scared that they are going to get into one another. So what I want to do, let me just put in part 5 first, so that it will just be arranged. So I'm going to put in part 5. Okay, this is part 4. Right, then which is part 3? Yes, this is part 3. All right, this is part 2. Is this part 2? No. This is part 2. And this is part 1. All right, let's view them on the timeline. So viewing them on the timeline, you see all of them, they have like different lengths, of course. And I kid you not, the only one that you're going to see here is part 1. Why? Because it's the one at the top. Every other thing will be invisible. Invisible. That's just it. Every other thing is going to be invisible. And that is how it's going to be. And once it's done, it's just going to be there. It's just going to be there. Nothing else is going to play. So to make this a possibility, I have to take the 5th part to the top. And I'm going to add an opacity keyframe. So I'm going to take the 5th part to the top. So once I take the 5th part to the top, because the 5th part does not have a background, you will not notice it. But what is going to happen? Can you see it? So the 5th part automatically is going to show, no matter where I drag it on the timeline. It's just going to wait. It's just going to wait. And on this transitioning, some of them just have to overlap each other. So for them to be accurate, just watch what is going to happen. This guy is going to come in again. Can you see that? So to make this now not to happen, let me spread the timeline to about 46 seconds, which is the original. So if you are already used to like video editing, this shouldn't be a problem. So this is part 1, and this is part 5, which is going to go to the ending. And what part is this now? Let's see. What part is this? So this is where we are going to add, because this one is at the bottom, it's not going to show. You understand? So we have to take this one to the top, and part 1 just have to go to the bottom, since it's going to be the first part that is going to show. And after this one is, look at these two now. These two now, they are here. They are going to be interfering with it. So that is where the opacity keyframe comes in, so that it can help us. Something is at the top already. So that is why we need to add opacity keyframe. So if I add an opacity keyframe here, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it everywhere. I'm going to add an opacity keyframe here. Okay. So in this first part, and I'm going to drag the opacity keyframe forward. This first part is going to be 0. It's going to be 0, and it's just going to be here. Right? And I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it on all of them, basically, because let's just be on the safer side. Just going to paste it on all. Then the last one, I'm just going to paste it on all. Then at this point, if we start playing it, let me see. This is the part 1. Why is it not showing? Let me see. Why is the stuff not playing? There's something off somewhere. Don't know whether it's Figma motion though. But yeah, like that's the concept I used. I don't know why it's not playing, or it's the opacity. Let me see. Let me just take it off. Let me just go to the original. But I hope I don't know why it's not working here, but
You get the concept.
well, yeah,
like 0 and 100% opacity.
yeah, like that's the whole idea. So that one is going to play after the other. But I don't know. Maybe like before this one is going to come handy, it's going to like take a while, because for you to actually get to this point, you must have
Most times
created like
just lay everything together.
complex animation that is going to start making your Figma to lag a bit. So yeah, I guess we have overshoot by 1 hour. So yeah, at this point, I think let me just do that UI animation last, and let's call it a day. Let me just pick it from here. This stuff was created by, you guys already know him, I believe, Ademola Olainka, something. Yeah, like Barry on Twitter. You guys should know him now. The guy is really, really good. Like the guy is really, really good. Like solid guy. So let me put this on a frame, and let me just show you guys how it is done, so that we're just going to call it a day from here. So let's enter Figma Motion, and everything we have learned so far, this is where we're just going to, this is where we're going to end it. So I'm going to add the position keyframe, scale keyframe to this, and at the beginning, it's going to be scaled up, so that it's going to come here and it's going to scale down, and it's going to scale down. So this is why position is not yet being used. So it's just only scale, and we want it to start in slow and come in hard. And I want to add an opacity keyframe, because without an opacity keyframe, we don't just want it to, this stuff is too slow. We don't just want it to come in like this, still too slow. We don't just want it to come in like this, okay? What we want is, let me just try to make this environment darker a bit. What we want is for it to fade in. That is going to make it a bit more realistic. So I'm going to add an opacity keyframe here. I'm going to add an opacity keyframe here, and I'm going to add an opacity keyframe here. Why did I drag it forward? Is the fact that I'm going to show you guys something. You're going to see something here. Just see. Okay. Why is 100? All right. Just check this out. From the beginning, right? The beginning is 0 to 100. Can you see that it showed before it moved? But that's not what I want. I want it to show as it's in the movement. I don't know if you get the point, but you're just going to see the difference now. Let me drag it forward a bit. Can you guys see it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You can.
All right. We are ending with this though, so just stay with me. So for these particular ones now, and there's something that I'm glad, because I was already worried that I was not going to touch it, is the fact that you can copy movement properties, and they are just going to work just fine regardless of wherever they are. So at this particular point, I want these objects to be coming in. So I'm going to select the first one. I'm just going to see which one is, sorry. I'm just going to add position keyframe. I'm going to see which one is moving. Okay, this one is moving now. And I'm going to move it here, right? I'm going to move it here. I'm going to add an opacity keyframe, and I'm going to, okay, let me just add, I already added a position keyframe so that I don't start guessing where the original position was. I'm just going to shift the original position to the ending. So I'm going to change the position at the beginning here. Okay. So if we play it now, this is how it's going to come in. And it is straight, linear. That is not what we want. We want it to come in and end slow. So we're going to adjust that. So let's see what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to stretch this to this point. Now let's see what's going to look like. Good. That's a very good position. Now I'm going to add an opacity keyframe because I don't want it to be visible right now. So I'm going to add an opacity value. I'm going to make it 0. And at this point, I'm going to make it, sorry, I'm going to make it 100. Okay. So let's see how it's going to look like now. Now look at what's going to happen. I'm going to copy these properties. Look, I'm selecting the properties so that you don't go and copy the whole object because it's a possibility. And I'm going to select each that are on the timeline, and I'm going to give them that property. I'm going to give them that property. All of them I'm going to select, and I'm going to give them that property. Now all of them are going to come in at the same time, which is not necessarily what I want, but let's just see how it's going to be. Can you see them? Now they are coming in at the same time, but that is not what I want. I want them to come in like just one after the other, basically. I don't know which one is the first one, but I'm just going to select that here so that I'm going to adjust it. So which one is the first? So this is the first. I'm going to take it to the front. And which one comes second? Okay, this is second. This is third. And this is the fourth one. So they are just going to come in like one after the other. So this is what I'm going to do. So can you see that now? So basically, that is how it is. And we can still paste in these properties into this tiny text here. We can also paste those properties into those texts, basically. We can actually do that. That is what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to paste it on all of them. And I'm just going to give them different timing, basically. I'm just going to give them different timing to come in. Just to give them different timing to come in, and you're just going to see it.
Nice.
And what are we going to do again? I'm going to touch this one here. I'm just going to make sure that is what I'm touching, and I am going to, at this beginning part, I'm going to give it a position keyframe. I'm going to give it an opacity keyframe. And I'm going to take it to the ending because I don't want to be guessing what position it was before. So since it's already in its natural position, I'm just going to leave it there. But at the beginning, I'm going to slide it here. I'm not going to take it too far. Nope. I just want it to just slide in naturally. It does not need to be too far. So I'm going to lock in opacity 0. So opacity will be 0 here. And as usual, we're going to do our custom bezier, and it's just going to be like slow in, like slow out. So everything is basically just going to come in. So I want the top ones to come first, then this down one will just come in a bit later. So let's just see how it's going to be. So can you see that? Let's go again. Can you see that? So that's like basically how you can, and for everything that we have done is just a combination of every basic that I've taken my time to go through. And it's the same thing for this. So the properties for this, I can copy it and paste it on this.
When you're copying properties, it's just the opacity and the position, right?
It's just the properties I want. It's not about opacity or position, because you can choose to copy rotational property. You can choose to copy parts property, because for those bubbles that I did, I copied parts property. It's just the properties that you need. So I'm copying the properties I need. That's why I told you there's nothing written on stone. It's just based on context. Okay, it's based on context. So I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to paste it here. Where is this one that I just copied now? And I'm going to bring it in first. I'm going to just take it back here. So it's just going to come in whenever. So everything now is like sliding in, and yeah, your UI is great. So once it gets here and everything has aligned, well, what are we going to do next? We're going to tap the frame itself. We're going to copy, because as at this point, we cannot just give it a value. We're going to copy the position, the scale frame, and we're going to paste it here, because when you want your object to remain at a particular value for a particular time, like it should delay at a particular time, you need to copy that same value and paste it between the time frame that you want it to delay on. So I'm going to now take my position keyframe now, which is at the front here, and I'm going to take it here, and I'm going to drag the frame upwards, because I want to reveal the picture. So I'm not going to make it to start slow. I'm just going to make it to move fast and ease out. So let's see how that looks like. You see how fast it is, depending on what you want, but now I want it to slide up slow. I want that smooth movement upwards. Yeah, exactly. So this is what I want. So at this point now, what do we want? So this is the last part, is the part where it has to, okay, no, this one does not have it. There are no extra pictures at this edge, but regardless, you already get the idea. For us to slide it a bit left, it's still the same thing. Position is just position, basically. Yeah, we can do that, That 2 images are okay. So let's take the opacity to the front, since it's already at the accurate position, but it is not on the whole. It's not on the whole stuff. We are doing it on just, how is this arranged now? How is this arranged? Okay, I think I get the idea. Let me see. Let me see. Bruh. But whatever I do, let's just do the opacity of everything. Yeah. I say the opacity. Let's just do the position of everything here. Yeah, let's just say everything. Actually, even though that's not the right thing based on UI experience, it's just supposed to be only the pictures. So let's just assume that was what happened. And yeah, this is exactly what we're going to have at the end of the day. Okay, sorry. Let's switch them up. Is this switch them up? Yeah, let's switch them up. Let's switch them up. And as I switch them up now, I have to put back our custom base, if not. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up. Anyways, like a comprehensive course will be put together, though. To be honest, like motion design is not easy. A comprehensive course will be put together, and when it's going to be released, you guys are going to be aware. But I hope by that time you must have like grown so much that you might not be needing that beginner course anymore, and you will be coming into the place where we'll now be talking about more serious and complex things. That would be like,
Please, do you have recording of this meeting?
possibly,
Sorry.
yes, I was recording it. The meeting is already almost 3 hours, more than 3 hours. So this should be like 4 hours. If this gets to, we started 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it gets to 9, that's 4 hours. So it's already like 3 hours plus for a 2 hours class. But yeah, that's the passion of teaching.
So could you drop
Anyways,
recording or
I am
something?
going to post the recording once I'm done like editing it, basically. So yeah, I'm going to just see how that's going to be. So basically, this is the end of this class, and just keep your eyes open for the beginner's course that is going to be dropping up there. I'm going to be going like in depth, like step by step. Like I posted today, I said Figma motion is not motion design. Neither is After Effects or Jita. Motion design is a skill. Figma motion is just a tool to express. And you just have to understand how motion design works for you to be able to do. And even this X animation too was even a combination of look at the X animation. I think this was where I first started that stuff. It's just a combination of like the components, the part 1 to part 4. So like I said, I say motion design is a skill. It's something that is built where you understand rhythm, timing, pace, hierarchy, graphics design, like because it's a combination of graphics design and animation. So you just have to understand how these things work. So in that beginner course, I'm going to like go like in depth, but it's a beginner course. It's not going to be so complex so that people don't get lost, but you are going to understand the basics and you are going to be able to create commercials of your own. Then in the master class, that is where we're going to really go like very, very, very in depth into some things and deep into how I think and how I actually do my own things. But like these 3 hours plus, it's worth it if you actually
4 hours well spent. This is actually a master class.
Yeah, it is, and my brain is paying for it. So basically, yeah, it's the same thing I did. If you notice, like the transitions, as it got to this part, look at, can you see how Figma is lagging? Can you see that the color is changing and things are just going? So these are the things I noticed that just made me say, nah, I think I need to try to create these things independently.
Boss, what did you do on that X?
Yeah?
You did something on that X, the X symbol.
Oh yeah. It's on my YouTube. Let me just go through, because since the class is done, let me just go through, because this first X animation, we did this. So this is like the first animation. This is basically like me maxing. I think this was done in day 5 after Figma Motion launched. Then this was where I was testing the path trim, and we also had like masking up. Then this next one, I think this is the one I use for tutorial. Let me enter the ones that I did at first, because they had like a different vibe to them. Then this is logo 2. This is logo 3. We were just playing with opacity and path trim, basically. Opacity, path trim, and masking. And this is logo 4. We did not really create a tutorial on this. This is logo 4. And finally, this is logo 5. So everything is just like combination of everything that we have learned today. Basically. So yeah. Thank you for sticking around my messy files, and
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
much.
What's your YouTube? Thank you very much. What's your YouTube channel name, please?
Yeah, it's classic, basically. Like, it's classic.